Hidden underbelly, deep and wide. Chasing saucers in the starry sky. Truth uncovered where the shadows lie. Wake up our brother, he's the cosmic guide. Oh hidden, oh hidden, oh hidden. Your light is never greater. Hidden, oh hidden, oh hidden. The truth you've always given. Whispers of the cosmos in the night. Finding answers through your second sight. Investigations that you bring to light. Mysteries unfold in your endless fight. Oh hidden, oh hidden, oh hidden. Your light is never better. Hidden, oh hidden, oh hidden. The truth you've always given. Saucer trails and cosmic tales. Through the static you prevail. Hidden brother on the case. Thank you very much for joining, everybody. This is my friend Hidden Underbelly 2.0.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Sorry, now I'm joking.
So, everybody, this is my friend Hidden Underbelly, long-time subscriber of you, my brother, and
Thank you
I
so
wanted
much.
to congratulate you on your awesome channel and your career because it is truly something to look up to.
Please don't, man. But thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone in the chat.
Hello, everybody. So, Hidden, I will ask you one question, and then later I'll probably interfere a little bit, but I don't want to interrupt you. I want to ask you relaxedly. I don't want to sound too in suspense. I want to ask you, how did you come to become a ufologist in that terms? Interested in this theme and the abnormal and the paranormal.
Well,
and you can tell your channel a little bit first if you want.
Well, I'm not going to plug it. Just like I say, stay the hell away from the channel. It's terrible. No, I'm not going to plug it. I'm just my channel is called the Hidden Underbelly 2.0. Check it out. If you don't like what you see, hey, God bless you. And if you want to stay, you're more than welcome. But check it out. And I deal with mainly UFOs, but I like the paranormal. Also just weird, bizarre, peculiar things that we don't see every day. Even if we have an explanation for them. If you get what I mean. Like,
yep.
It's just things that we don't see every day, and I like stuff like that. So that's what got me into it was I'm the kind of guy, I don't like to criticize people. And I always say if you can see a problem and you can do it and probably do it better, then have a go. Because nothing ventured, nothing gained. You get what I'm saying, John?
Yeah, you have to take a risk in life a little bit, right?
So I found myself as I know it sounds bad, but I started it off as a hobby. And lucky, I don't know, lucky just turned out to be good at it. And the thing is that I find that I find that people want to, well, my viewers to my channel would want to see the truth.
Yep.
So I try and find real videos that I feel are real, and that's just following my gut. You know, when you're following your gut, there's so many walls you can put up, but or knock down. Sorry, but you're gonna get fooled. Even the best people get fooled. So you know, it goes with the territories. Or sometimes I
You have
like
to
to have a
get
good.
some skin, right?
That's it. That's it. But you still get fooled every now and then, or
Oh,
you
of
let it
course,
slide.
man.
So
Of course,
that's
who doesn't, right? It's like there is people who are good at it, you know? Like look at I don't know. I'm not going to say Linda Moulton Howe, but you know, she's I like her, but she's become a little bit lazy, you know what I mean? Like
a bit fruity, ain't she? I don't. You know. The thing is, you owe it to your people. Hello, you owe it to you owe it to the people that trust, believe you, and buy your books, and you owe them a sense of integrity. No, you do owe them a bit of integrity, and by pointing at a cloud, knowing full well it's a cloud, and saying it's something else. I don't know. I always think you should be like Jay Z.
the
When Jay Z,
pareidolia.
you know Jay Z when he did the Black Album.
I know Jay-Z, but I don't know much of his music.
Okay, well
Jay-Z.
he
Okay, I know who you mean, Jay-Z now.
okay he did the Black Album, and when he did the Black Album, he said I'm going to retire, and they were like, man, you're on fire, you're at your best, and he said this is the time to go. It's when I'm at the top. I'd rather retire at the top than be forced out on the low.
Yeah. But he's still involved with music, like he supports other music people, right?
Oh yeah,
Um, I know he was very involved with the Umbrella Girl.
yeah, Rihanna.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm babbling on. I've had a joint,
Yeah,
and,
don't
he, and
worry,
he's
don't worry.
he's indulging me.
Do you have any like UFO stories from close by in your town or something like that? Or have you known anything like
I've had
in your younger days?
in my younger days. See, this is the thing. In my younger days, I believe I saw things, but as I'm getting older, I think maybe what I saw when I was like a boy, I could put it to something else. Do you understand now? Because sometimes when we see things as a boy, like I saw lights in the sky at a distance. Now I think about it, that first ever thing that I saw, and I'm thinking that could have been a helicopter.
Yeah. And you just didn't associate the sound.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
So but I've had two experiences. I've actually had three, but the third one
Oh, tell me, please.
well, the third one I wrote off. The third one I actually wrote off because I found out that it was I saw this orange light just going straight down the road, up in the sky, going straight down the road, and I'm like, whoa, as you are. Told my friend he's a skeptic, but when I obviously he's going to believe something I'm telling him. So his skeptic Pat, he started looking into it, and it turned out that it was the ISS doing the solar panels, and it was the sun reflecting off the solar panels, and that's why it was
Yeah,
going down.
I've seen that. It orange?
Yeah,
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 like a dull orange. You couldn't see any structure, right?
but you
Or
could
I don't
see
know
this
if you
light
were.
just moving. It was pretty cool to look to see.
That happened to me once at 4 a.m. and I jumped into my garden thinking it was.
A
craft with my phone
UFO.
on my hand, videoing it. So I video it, but the phone was crappy.
Yeah.
And the next day, my friend told me it was the ISS.
Yep. Yep.
Tell me about the other two.
Well, the latter one was I was with two other people. So two other people also saw this, but I I used to live at towards the top of a hill. So
Yep.
me and my two friends were walking, and as we were at the top of the hill, I started noticing these shadows. Now I gotta say, this is a bright sunny day. There weren't a cloud in the sky. And I started noticing, first I noticed this one shadow on the ground. And I'm telling you, this thing had to be about 60 feet in diameter. It was huge. And it was down in the valley. And it was a perfect circle. And it was just moving. So I was watching it. I stopped at this point, and I was watching it. And my friend says, "What are you looking at?" So I said, "Look down on the valley. Can you see that shadow moving on the ground?" And they were like, "Yeah." Then another one came. And then at this point, this is when we said, "You know what? We got to videotape this." Yeah. Get my phone out. Yeah. Now, my phone's an older phone. It didn't work. It wouldn't record. Yeah. The camera just would not work. So my friend went, pulled out his phone. Now his phone's a newer phone. And he turned to me and he goes, "This ain't never happened to me before." His camera wouldn't work.
Interesting.
There was nothing. I don't know. I don't know
There
if
was
that was
nothing in the sky to make that shadow.
nothing. I even
So
went
you
across
know
the
what
road,
possibly you saw, right?
something stealth or cloaked.
Yeah, I've seen a few videos of those. You probably shown them before, like no cloud in the sky, and you see a shadow moving, big one, and you were
Well,
getting the
this,
electromagnetic.
this was three of them, and I even crossed the road because I wanted to make sure there was nothing that's how I can 100% say there was nothing in the sky. It
Jeez.
was the Germans. 100% there was nothing there. And a couple of neighbors were even asking what we're looking at. And we were saying, look at the shadows. But
You could only see it in the valley when they were traveling.
yeah,
Crazy,
yeah.
man.
And
Very
then
interesting.
and then
That's a great one.
the last one I saw. See, what I thought was good about that as well is that there were two other people that were there that, if there's no way I can get in touch with one of them because God rest them soul, they passed on. And the other one, I just don't know
Blessing.
where he is. So, but there was three of us that saw this happening. So,
Very interesting, brother.
but I've got no pictures, no video. So guess what? It didn't happen.
Look, man, story.
Sorry.
I do cherish the stories very much because look, you know that in this field, the reason why we're gonna be lied to is because we need to be open to accept the weirdest stories. Okay, it doesn't mean they haven't happened. You know, it's just like the I don't want to say the word. Magic. It exists, but you don't mess with it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's a little bit like
Yeah. Yeah. See, it's all I don't understand the connections, but I think a lot of it is connected and some of it ain't. That's my 420 brain. But you know, the other one that I had wasn't so. There was only just me. I was outside, out in the back there. Um, I'm trying to think of the time. It was probably around anywhere between 1 or 2 in the morning because
Okay.
I had a late night working. This was maybe a couple of years ago, and I was having I like to go outside, So it was obviously the summertime because that's when I like to stand outside and have a joint in the middle of the night. And I was there having a smoke, and I noticed this. It was like a V shape. The lights. It was five lights,
In a V
two
shape. Okay.
in a V shape, and what I found weird because I looked at it. This thing happened. It lasted seconds, 30 seconds if
Okay.
I was lucky from spotting it to going. What the? You know what I mean? Because
Did
this,
it
I
really
know.
happen? Right? You think if it real did it really happen?
No, no. I'm thinking. I'm actually seeing something here because I know what planes look like. I live. What would you say? Flight path. We're not right up by Birmingham International, but there's a lot of planes that fly over us,
Yep.
and on the nighttime. So I do know what planes look like, and this didn't look like no plane, and this looked like it was way the hell up there. Yeah, and the feeling I got, and this is what the feeling I got was it knew I was looking at it. It knew I could see it because the moment it got near enough to be over my head, it went black. It's as if it just switched off its lights.
Yep.
But I got the weirdest feeling that it was still there. It's like I focused on the spot where it went black.
And you saw something continued the path, right?
No, no, no. As soon
Oh,
as it
it
went over
just
my,
cloaked.
it turned off its lights. I could only see this object moving because of the lights.
Okay.
It it was moving like that in a one light there, two on each side, and it was moving in that formation, and it just turned off it just boom. I didn't feel it vanished. I felt it just went dark.
Possibly like either cloak or go too fast and disappear. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know.
one
It
of
could have
them.
just it could have just went hyperspeed, but I don't know. I don't
Yep.
know. It was because I could see it. I could see it moving. I could see it coming. And it's like soon as I said the you know
Beautiful. I'm brother. I'm part of Skywatch community. I don't know if you know. Uh, we have many friends here, like Michelle, Ruse. Um,
hello. Nice
Many
nice to
people
meet you.
here are part of the. We are part of the sky watching community, and we do videos of the sky, just like Nick. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't mean you're. It's like a group. It's like we just all like to video the sky.
That's a no, hey, that's a great thing to do because this is
And
how
we
we get
catch stuff
this is how we get
sometime.
evidence.
Yeah.
This is how we get evidence. See, it's a shame because I'm an entertainer. So the evidence I want to show has to be good. which is a shame because people send me their videos and they have got something, but they've got something that's not doing anything. Do you
Or
understand?
just part of it, just the end or something, right?
Well, even if I've worked with videos that had only 5 seconds, so if it's good, I
It's
I
hard,
I,
right?
I enjoy working them. No, I enjoy it. It's the channel has been a godsend to me in a way
Yeah,
because
man. And for
it's
us.
thank you because it's one of my subscribers when I was about 6 months into the channel and I was putting out crap because I didn't know where I wanted to go. When you're at that place and you're like, you get your channel and you're like, right, what the hell am I gonna do with this? Am I correct?
Yeah,
So
keep the work
I
coming, the content.
well I gotta say I do feel sorry for the guys that are starting now and probably started about a year, maybe 2 years ago, because the heyday's gone. I can honestly see that. But when I started, it was the heyday, and it was just really good. Copyrights, well, hey, let's play. so, there
Now
was a
it's
lot
not
of
like that.
oh man, especially like I got to be careful too because I enjoy what I'm doing, but it's where I was going was now it's hard unless you start following because I think the subject of UFOs has been a bit hijacked now, and I think it's gone very political with politics, not people
Good,
that
right?
are involved, but just the general politics of it. We've got every, and I think if they do what they're gonna say they're gonna do, is a good thing because
The disclosure.
because you got so many countries now having their own committees. So if they do have an open and honest forum with the public, then this is a good thing. But I just feel that a lot of things is being controlled. There's a narrative that is being spinned,
Yes,
and
for sure.
it's being followed. And I'm this is why I miss the good old days because channels like us, we were looked at as fringe channels. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like the fringes. It was fun. We could talk about statues bleeding. You remember the statues that would
Yes.
cry blood? We could talk about stuff like that. We had fun.
Yep. And there are stuff here in Portugal about that. We've had statues bleeding. There is people who died like 100 years ago, and you go to the little church where they are resting inside a stone coffin,
Mm.
and you go there and their bodies are there almost preserved, and there's no explanation for that. So there is some weird stuff, religious miracles happening. There was a girl who miraculously got her eyesight back
Wow.
in Lisbon in one of the churches when the Pope went there, like 2 years ago before he
Wow.
died. Like, I think it was the youth journeys here in Portugal, maybe more than 2 years, but there were some miracles happening and stuff. So still happening, right?
Well, yeah.
It was
This
a young girl from Spain, I think.
I I think we're in a time where it's a very precarious time. But anyways, mine
There's a
was
lot of
late at night.
meteorites coming in our direction,
Yeah.
and we're so
Let's go.
small, right? Compared to the
Oh
vastness.
man, That sounded really that his sighting sounded real good, man. He saw a perfect triangular shape UFO. Did it make any noise or anything?
Beautiful.
Whereabouts did you see that? You're in the UK. Whereabouts did you see that?
Okay, I'm waiting for his answer.
West Yorkshire.
West Yorkshire.
Is there was there any military bases by there? Halifax. There
I've
isn't
heard
there.
of Halifax.
I've heard of the Building Society. No, I'm playing.
You know, I studied in Maidstone, Kent, Maidstown.
Did
Do
you?
you know it?
I did work in Kent, so the closest I got to Maidstone was Rainham.
I studied there for 4 years, osteopathy, when I was 18, and then I came back to Portugal to work.
You did the right thing, mate.
At the time, I enjoyed England, but it was too rainy and cold. You know,
Yeah.
too many too many days at home. You know, so
Yeah.
I stayed a few months looking for a job, but all the best jobs were taken, you know, from everybody who had finished before me because I had to stay a few months extra. Oh, True Saxon went to Maidstone once. Yes, there was one there, I know. There was an arts school there and my osteopathy school as well, so it was
once,
nice, you know.
once you Saxon's a hooligan. I think he fights for the claret and blue. Is that your colours, one true Saxon?
I did go and watch my team play Arsenal once. In Arsenal, we were beat by 5-0 or 5-1.
Who,
5-0, I think.
who's your team? Chelsea. Oh no, 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 no,
So you
no.
like Mourinho,
I,
right?
I still like it. Sorry.
He likes Mourinho.
The
You
head
know
on.
Jose Mourinho, the coach.
Uh,
You know he was a champion of Europe with my team FC Porto before he went to Chelsea.
there you go. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
love Jose, right? And he couldn't get the champions, right? But he got a final or something. He was good. He's good. He's in Benfica now, the team that we don't like here in Porto. Hidden, I don't know if you know, but I had an experience when I was like, I don't know, 16. I know it was 16 because it was before I went to England. I went to England at 18. Oh, thank you, Saxon. And we were in the beach, and one of the reasons why that night became very I remember that night was because of the UFO, and not only. I was there. I think it was one car. A guy had a driver license, so we were five, and there was a girl.
Oh.
So yeah, we were five there, maybe five, and we were drinking in the drinking and smoking in like those bars in the beach, like they're right at the beach. So the bar where you sit, it's like you walk a little bit and you're in the sand.
Yeah.
And so I think it was maybe close to summertime, I'm not sure. And I remember this friend of the girl who was with us, she started vomiting. Maybe, the smoking and the mix of the smoking and drinking. But we drank quite a lot, and it was a little bit of binge drinking beer and stuff. And I remember I looked to her right; she was vomiting. Okay,
I gotta
And
emphasize, she was vomiting.
so that's what I remember is she was vomiting, and I looked to the horizon and I see like it looked like this, like an arrowhead, a
Uh,
triangle, white, and it was leaving sparks behind, so it was moving from the horizon inland. And from where we were, we could see like the coast going north, and I could see more or less where it was going to pass above. And it looked maybe, I don't know, like 3 or 4 times an airplane. I kind of thought it was an airplane falling,
uh.
but I didn't hear any noise. She was vomiting. Everybody was laughing and smoking, and there
Was
was
she
a big.
vomiting?
No, she was like she didn't see anything, and I was like trying
Why?
to
Why is that, John?
look, man. Look at the weird thing. I was trying to call my friends to look at the horizon, but they were helping her out and laughing, and I started laughing. I had like an attack of laughter,
Mm.
and I'm not sure now if I was laughing of her vomiting and me being drunk and high, and everybody, and maybe somebody did said a joke or something, and then I had sighting, and I was trying to call them, but I remember that I couldn't stop laughing, so I was kind of pointing, but I think I couldn't talk. It was like very weird, very weird. I saw it moving inland and passing over the city. I thought it was the city more or less over there.
It
Uh,
went over.
and then,
It went over the city.
yeah, and then I stopped seeing it because there were some clouds over the city, maybe, and
Oh.
that's the image I have. Maybe there was a little bit of fog because near the sea, usually it fogs up a little bit. But it wasn't like that very strong fog. It was maybe more like clouds
Mist.
over the city, I think. And then I stopped watching it when it passed over the city, and it was going inland. So that was like big, the biggest craft, or it could have been a meteorite, but it was moving very slowly. It was leaving sparks behind. I don't know what else. Look, it was 16, so it was before 2002. It was 2000s, so it was a long time ago, and I didn't see anything on the news. And channel number 2 had a few astrophysical shows, but they didn't show anything. There was no internet. I don't think there was internet in the 2000s yet.
So how long? How long did this last for? Were you
Yeah,
more
it was
close?
seconds. It was seconds, maybe a
Just
minute. Yeah, it moved like because it was big. It looked a bit slower than an airplane, and I didn't hear any noise. I don't remember. I remember I was like very, very. It. We just had drank like a beer, like a glass, half a pint, and we were smoking. So I don't know. I don't know. It just look.
I
I
still
don't think
don't.
it was because of the drunkenness, because
Yeah.
you know we've
Or
seen
the
like those lead balloons being released in my town. Thank you very much, Scott. Scott OFG is a very good friend of mine from the gaming community. So I do make part of a lot of communities. You know what I mean? Um, Hidden. So that's how I've been growing. It's been I make part of communities here and there, and I do the UFOs as a hobby. But I'm afraid of growing a lot. I do have that, like, polarized channel.
yeah.
He's
A
really
very,
good.
a very
He's
good
really
MC.
good. I do watch him, but I am afraid of becoming like that.
In what
Like
way?
thousands of people watching you in one show and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just I don't know, man. I'm just afraid of
You're afraid of success?
confusion.
Why? What's confusing?
A lot of people at the same time. I've always been like a little bit antisocial, and I don't do well in big groups, like
Hmm.
it's not that I don't do well, is that I I like I like to think myself, and when we're part of big communities, we kind of have to be a certain way. Not talking about drama and whatever. I'm just talking about like you have to do certain things, and this way or that way. You have to be friends of this and not of that, and I don't like that. I like to be open to everything, but I don't like to get too close where I have to be obedient. You know what I mean? It's like you in a way. Like we like our freedom
Yeah.
of thinking and expressing ourselves and researching our own way, our own etiquette in a way, right?
Well, yeah,
But
yeah.
be positive and
I personally stay out of communities, and
yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, but yeah, I know what you mean by communities. Like when you think about everybody's doing the same thing, right? But
no, 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 no,
we
no.
diversify,
All right,
so everybody has their like some
I'll
do
give you,
gaming, some do
I'll give you.
fishing, and things like
Oh
that.
no, I get that, I get that. But let's say the
But in
paranormal,
UFOs is different.
it's the it's probably is different in UFOs
But it's the same. Yeah, it's the same in a way.
in the paranormal communities. They operate kind of the same way. See, I'm on the fringes because I look for footage, but like I wanted to give you an example of say how the community stays.
Work.
Right.
Yeah.
Now this Atlas 3i. Now the other day, a couple of days ago, I think it was Friday, a guy put out on Reddit every scientific thing why this thing is a comet. And this man got so many thumbs down, it was beyond a joke. And this is it. It's not even open for a logical debate.
Because there's no proof, right?
What, that it's a comet?
No, there's no proof that it's an alien ship.
Well, sorry, but the thing is, with communities, yeah, this should be. Don't you think it should be an open discussion? The only way we're gonna
Yes,
learn is through
yes,
discussing things. But the
yes.
communities that I know are gone. Now, maybe there are some people that branch off and they will have these discussions. I did it with the flat earthers. I did it with a flat earther, right? I met this flat earther and he was a really nice guy. It wasn't just about flat earth he harped on about, but he believed the earth was flat. I did not. And I still do not.
Yeah,
Right? But that's his belief. That's anybody's belief. And God bless him. He gave us a brain. We can believe in what we want to believe. So God bless you. But he taught me stuff about Atlantis, and he was going through the Greek stuff, Egyptian stuff, and
that's interesting.
that's what I'm trying to say. And he was a great guy. Yeah. So all I'm trying to say is from the communities we can learn from each other if we choose to. But
We just
in
have
let's
to
say,
respect each other, right? In a way.
and that's the word. That's the word, respect. We have to respect and remember everybody's got a different opinion on things, and we should share, because when somebody's showing, it's like the the Mars footage, the photographs of Atlas. They're saying it's a cigar shape, and we know it's a long exposure, so it will give this effect.
Yeah.
uh, even, but
But
the
they're
thing is, though,
hiding, man. They're hiding stuff, and the Chinese as well.
yeah, but isn't that appropriate to hide things?
Yeah.
You don't want your enemy to know what you got. So just because we want to think it's a nefarious thing, like, they could have UFOs. They could have them. I'm not saying they ain't, but they could also be coordinating a Taylor Swift concert for sick kids. So it's got to be done on the down low. This was the whole thing that when we researched, did you catch the Montauk project?
Yeah.
And this was the whole ethos of the Montauk project, because it was a real place. Camp, I forgot, camp something. So it was a real location, and they did secretive things. But because these things were secretive, probably more to do with radar,
Yep.
people said anything. And the guy wrote a book about them doing all these experiments there, and that book became real. But you can't disprove the book, because everybody signed at this Montauk place, yeah. Everybody signed the do not disclose order. So who knows? And on the show, I proved it by saying that did you know at Montauk they cloned the first person out there?
Wow.
No, they
I
didn't.
didn't know that.
Well, they didn't. That's just me making that up. But
Ah,
you
okay.
see, because the secrecy of that place, if I said that, who can disprove me?
Yep. But there's that black entity, the black monster. There's a photo of it, remember?
But
That's a weird one.
that thing that washed up on the beach.
I think they had a few pictures of some big monster in the woods, something like that. No? Like some black entity, some black shadow. Easily
Maybe,
faked, maybe, right? But
maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But that's the whole thing that I'm trying to say
there's
with
many people who say they were there, right? Like do you know those channels of people who say they were kidnapped by and they
who.
were in Montauk and stuff? You know that? I know a
No,
few. The
I
woo
don't.
woo channels, you know. I'm still subscribed to one of them, with
Do you
one with a
believe
long
them?
hair and glass, one with a long curly hair. You may know him.
The hidden underbelly.
Yeah,
So what do you think?
there are many
What,
weird stuff, right? That sell.
see? Well, it's the nature of the beast. It's the nature of the beast, and that's all it is.
And we love that, right? Who doesn't love like
A good yawn.
yeah.
One of my heroes in this world. I mean, I have weird heroes. Man, bear, pig. I was waiting for somebody to say it. All right, one of my heroes in this world is an Australian criminal named Mark Brandon Reed. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
Anybody in the chat heard of Uncle Chopper? But I know he stole this quote because he stole a lot of things. But he said, never let the truth get in the way of a good yarn. Uncle
Yep.
Chopper, Uncle Chopper, one of my heroes, man. Can you believe that?
A good yawn.
Now, if you ever knew who Uncle Chopper was, man, Uncle Chop Chop. But that's the whole thing. Never let the truth get in the way of a good yarn.
Oh my
And
gosh, that's literally it, right? Like, not everybody can do that. I'm not. I know people can like
think,
people that go to war and stuff, right? You need to be. It's not any person who can go to war, you know.
yeah,
You know what
but
I mean?
going
It has
going
to
to
be.
war, going to war and bullshitting is two different things. Going to war, you need some courage, man. You need some
Yeah,
courage, and I respect everybody that goes to war. You know, thank you for giving us the freedoms that we have now, even though our government
exactly.
probably taking them away from us. But thank you because it's not your fault. But going to war and bullshitting and lying to the public is two different things. You know, they're
Yeah, I know, but keeping that coolness, it's strangely admirable. You know what I mean? Like, how
yeah,
can they
yeah.
do that? Like,
Yeah, yeah. No, I get you. I get you. Because you get certain people that write in books. They're saying crap on the internet, writing books. People are buying them. And you're like, man, how can you? Because no, you know,
have you
sometimes
thought about writing a book?
you. I was gonna say that. I was gonna say, yeah, yeah. I've sat here and I've watched some of the shit that they have said, and I thought, you know what?
Look, I couldn't write. I don't think I could write a book because I'm not very. But I'm good at making movies. That's what my friends tell me. I'm very good at making short movies, but not more than that.
Well, my stepson's been telling me about showing me AI, and it looks like it looks like I could have a book. AI
Yeah,
could
with
write.
small stories, you just have to g- tell it to the AI, and it does it for you.
Mm. So I might do a book, an AI generated book.
I'd like to see that.
Oh no, I'm just kidding you, man. I'm just kidding you.
Hidden, do you want to show us some of your videos?
I'm actually very stoned. No, but what is
You
there
know
any?
how to do it, right? I don't have a PC, so you have to do it on your side.
Oh man, please. I can't. I can't.
Just
Oh.
show one video that you like a special one, like that you remember, or like
Why?
I can give you some hints. Let me see.
Oh, why have you done this to me, man?
Okay, just show your last one. Come on, just show your last one.
Uh, oh man.
I'll add you here on the
Okay, let me see.
maybe a long one so we can discuss it a little bit and chat while we're watching.
See, it's
I
hard
don't
to
use a
pick.
computer,
It it's hard to pick. It's hard to pick one, John. It's really hard to pick them. Um,
Okay, pick the last UFO then.
could we talk about a couple?
Of course, we can talk about anything. I just wanted to have something showing like a little
Right.
graphic.
Well, I wanted to. Oh, right, well, this one, I never felt it got the attention it should have. Here, let me get this up.
Brother,
I
you decide everything. I know it's hard to decide when you have lots of stuff, but
I want to
something
make a
recent
joint.
like
I
that
want
you
to make a
found.
joint.
I
I
want
would
to
love
talk
to.
to you later about the Las Vegas. I don't know if you know a lot about that. You probably did it before, right? Did you did it at the time?
The alien in the backyard.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
I have I have a guy. He's called Quirk Zone. You may have heard of him.
yeah. I've heard of him.
And at start I was like, what, why is this guy always going on about this? But I've started learning a little bit about him. He was like an ex-cop and private investigator and stuff. And I don't know, and he's so against the grain, you know what I mean? Like, he's focusing on cases that he thinks were like not hidden, but covered by the police and government and stuff like that. Very conspirationist. I do like him, I have to admit. But I do have so many contradictory information. Like, from one side of my friends, they say, "Oh, there's nothing there," and then we do see a little bit of some shadows or whatever. It's not a lot.
Well, like if
I don't know.
there's we Sean, we live in a great age of information where it's even gotten you thought it was hard when we just had the search engine. Now we have AI. All you have to do is ask AI, and AI will scan the internet and see. The thing is about stuff that we're looking into, it's unbiased. It's not going to lead you. It's just going to show you the facts according to what's in on the internet. According to what's on the internet. So we can we can find these. If you know what I mean, they shouldn't be. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. You got me stoned, John. Man, it's your
Like,
fault.
this man, he was telling that this family was like harassed by the government and police, and they put cameras all over. Um, there is some evidence that I still do not agree. Like, he says there's land markings, and you go to Google and you go to the day before or 2 days before, and the markings were there already. So there's no
Oh, you
evidence.
want about the
There's
Vegas thing?
only lack of evidence as
Hmm.
evidence. You know what I mean? Like,
You're on about the Vegas thing.
yeah,
See, the thing about the Vegas thing that I'm going to say, yeah, is the yard was he kept his equipment there. Yeah. Now, my knowledge, there's about three diggers there, wasn't there? They're worth about 200,000 each. So by rights, by rights, yeah, insurance, they're going to want him to have cameras on that yard.
yeah,
So what I'm trying to say is there's footage there that we ain't seen
yes,
because
that's a really good point.
where is the CCTV footage cam? Because that yard would just no insurance company is going to insure them. They had I'm sure it's about three diggers they had in the backyard. So you're talking over 500,000 worth of equipment. And they're gonna have
Yes,
to have insurance. They're gonna have to have insurance on that because they run a company. This is the whole thing. So the where you said the lack of evidence is possible evidence, indeed. Because why ain't we seen those security? And I know that was it George Knapp? I know
I don't know.
somebody big went down there. I can't remember who it is, but it was somebody big. And then he posted that the FBI was there and they were taking. And I think what he was saying, I can't remember, but it led me to believe that it's that CCTV footage.
Yeah.
I think they saw something. What it was, who knows? But I think there's better footage of it.
I do like, that's why I like observing a lot of different people, because sometimes there is little things that people may forget, and those little things are like the, what leads you to other things, other proof that was covered up. You know what I mean? Like, there's no other pathway of investigation. You know what I mean? So it was, that it was covered up.
Well, I just
You
me
were talking about the Roswell, right?
no, I thought we were talking about Las Vegas.
No, sorry. I just had a vision of you saying on your show that you never did the Roswell, right?
No, because I don't want to be honest.
Yeah,
It's been done to death, man, hasn't it?
I know, I know, I know, I know. And there is yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I've those big guys, who talk about it. I can't
But
remember their names now.
it's been done to death. I mean, that's all I can say.
Yeah.
And plus, there's so much focus on that. When I think before that, in my opinion, in just my opinion, before Roswell, we had the Battle of L.A. And to me,
Yeah.
I think that's far better.
Yeah, and that one they have photos and images and videos and stuff.
Well,
Maybe black and white videos, but
well, they have no, they have just one photo of it, but you have what is interesting. You have military reports.
yeah.
Sorry, I believe it was Navy. The Navy radar was picking this thing coming in off the coast. But when they were opening fire on this thing, that disproves it was a Zeppelin.
Because
It didn't come down.
didn't move. Almost like a projection, right?
And when they gave back the guy's negative, because the picture that we have is a reporter's. So
Yes.
they took the reporter's negative and they gave him back a different one because he used to mark his negative. When he got his negative wasn't marked.
Oh.
So
Have you done the LA before on your show?
I briefly,
Okay, so maybe that could be an idea for a later one with Nick.
I think me and him briefly did it, but I
I
don't know.
do I
I
do
mean,
like your you two do very good, brother. You really, I do enjoy watching you both.
I'm getting stoned now.
The Ghost
Anybody
Rocket.
here? Do you want to see a video then?
He's probably in the chat biting his nails when he hears that.
So the rocket balloon.
Yeah.
That's his trigger word. Because
You shouldn't have told us that, Nick.
Nick is serious about this. I mean, he's starting to lighten up a bit because it is a serious topic, and I don't mean to take away from it, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of BS that surrounds
It's
the
a lot of
topic.
frustration.
Yeah,
And if you don't play with it and be entertained, it can take you to dark places. So
yeah. And it
that's
actually
why,
surprises me some of these people that are in them places. That it's shocking. I never heard of sock accounts.
until today.
No, not till today. But it's like I'm shocked when I heard about sock accounts. I was like, you actually do this?
Look, man,
tell,
remember
tell
there
me.
is people with too much time in their hands.
Too much, way too much. And sometimes they're in one show, yeah, certain people's show, and it's like they've got all five of their accounts operating, talking to one another. It's insane.
Wait, let me get my wife's phone. I forgot to turn it on.
uh,
Look, it's my best viewer is my wife.
uh,
It's my number one viewer.
I see rocket balloons here.
Look, Hidden, I've had a few more sightings, brother. I've seen like two red. In my wife's birthday some years ago, we went north to Viana do Castelo, and because we were in a hotel that it didn't have balcony, I had to always go downstairs to the swimming pool area to smoke with my phone, listening to whatever I was listening. And I still remember I was listening to Stephen Cambion. I don't know, maybe 5 years. No, yeah, maybe five or four, two, three. I don't know. And I saw two red dots moving and blinking in the sky. I'm quite sure they were airplanes, like fighters.
Mm,
They weren't satellites, I'm sure. You know why? Because they moved like airplanes, like jets. But because I was near a highway, I didn't recognize the sound of them. And they were quite high. And they went from the sea over me, both of them paired. And they were blinking sometimes. One of them was blinking sometimes, and the other one was like always red. And they went towards Spain, and that was like, you know, I think it was airplanes, but I don't know. Have you seen Hidden some things that look like,
never.
how can I say it? They appear as stars. They can move or they can be stopped. They cannot move. They can be like there. And what happens is you see like a star,
Mm,
and that star starts like becoming stronger, the light,
mm.
shining more, a little bit bigger, of course. And then after a few seconds, it starts dimming down again, and it becomes a star again, and then it disappears. Have you seen anything like that?
No.
Okay, so I've seen that many times, and I do have video evidence of that from this summer on my holidays in the south of Portugal. I
Okay.
was riding my bike at night and I saw like uh, a blue light appearing, and it didn't seem to be moving at the time. It powered up a little bit and then it dimmed and it disappeared. It could be like maybe it was moving and the angle that I saw,
That sounds
because it
cool,
was
man.
going away from me, it kind of looked like it didn't move.
So it's like it kind of powered up and then disappeared.
Yeah, it could have imagined it. The angle that I was watching, it reflected back to me a little
Mm,
bit,
mm.
and then it started reflecting more, and then it started dimming down and it disappeared again. So I saw that once, Hidden, and it was strange because it didn't move. I was in my window smoking. It didn't move. And how am I sure of this, Hidden? Why? Because the ceiling of my window is here and the branches of my persimmon tree are here. And then the windows are on each side, you know what I mean? Like that. The windows are on each side. And then on top I have a little bit of sky. and there was no wind, no clouds in the summer, and and I was like, I thought to myself, imagine if a little star appeared there, something happened there.
And you saw
And
that.
like I would take a puff, and then after a while, I don't know if I thought that straight at the moment, but I remember I thought that, and a little bit after that happened,
So
maybe it wasn't associated with it. It could
so
have been
so
like a, sorry.
so wouldn't you think that would be something more spiritual in nature?
Maybe, because I've thought of it, but at the same time, Hidden, it could have been like a meteorite coming in my direction. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, I think that's very rare.
Well, sometimes they do explode high up in the atmosphere.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's falling in our direction, and it doesn't look like it's moving, but it's flashing, becoming as it's burning, and then it disappeared. So I thought
Boom.
it could have been that.
Could have been
But Hidden, the more interesting thing is that I told my wife, and like 10 minutes later,
420.
I entered one of those giveaways, and we were 33 people, and I won $50. So it was interesting because I told my friend where of that channel, and I told him, look, the UFO made me do it. Because Hidden, if that UFO didn't appear, or that meteorite or whatever, or orb or whatever, I wouldn't have played the game. You know why? He posted the message in the morning, like saying, oh, give away $50 and things like that. And I'm like, oh, I never win, and they are far away from America. I'll never receive it. Or no, I'm not saying I'll never receive it. I was thinking, oh, I'll never win it. It's like, uh, it's like I don't want to lose their time playing this. And then the UFO appeared, and his show started, and I was like, damn, I have to play the game. And so the whole show, I didn't talk. I was just watching with my wife in the sofa. And when it was time to write what you had to write on the chat, I wrote the magic word, whatever, and then I said the UFO made me do it. And then I watched the show. I left, and the next day, my friend Carlos, he was like, "John P, you won the thing." It was so funny because he was so excited for me. He was like, "John P, you won it. Go there and retrieve your prize." And I'm like, "Oh, for sure." And I'm like, "Did I win?"
So
And I said, I saw a UFO, Carlos. That's why I win it and stuff. So it was funny.
so don't you think that's something spiritual then in
I
nature?
don't know, man. I don't know. Look, there was a month ago, I saw the same thing,
Mm,
but it was moving from north to south on the horizon.
mm,
And the weird thing is that there's a neighbor's building, and it was right above it where I've been cutting my cherry tree. So I've been cutting this last in the summer. I cut like a branch, like thicker than me, okay, really big, very like 5 meters high. I had to go above some ladder, and then I used my 3.5 meter cutter for branches,
right.
and I cut on one side. Yeah, it took me like a month every weekend.
Oh, okay.
And how I saw it was I was watching my brother Raymond. He's a really good friend of mine, Raymond. He's probably here. He's Raymond and Norma, a good friend from like 4 or 5 years ago. And he does some. He's 420. You know what I mean? but he's got health problems with pains, and so it helps him with the pain.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
that's another community of my friends, the 420, but some of them are recreation, some of them is for health reasons.
I think whatever your reasons, man.
Yeah, I do. I do RSO sometimes. I do get some RSO sometimes if I need, because of my aches and pains and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, but
Either way, I've seen some stuff, but no cracks. But Hidden, a really, really good friend of mine, in 2012.
sorry.
Thriller James is a really good friend of mine as well. He's my brother from California.
I hope you're having a
Um,
smoke, man. I hope I ain't the only one smoking here because I ain't seen John light nothing up, man. Nothing.
Look, James Scarborough, he does reviews. Sophia,
I know some.
Wally,
I know some
Peter.
people smoking.
Okay, I've said a few. Kalex, he does reviews. UK Medical, he's from UK.
And he's medical marijuana.
Yeah. So I've posted your channel. It's on the description of this show. So I've done it also. Please check my brother out.
But my
Either way,
advice,
brother, I've seen
stay the hell
some.
away.
Sorry.
No, I'm telling them just stay away, man. Please don't go to that guy.
Yeah, look, I have a lot of friends who say that, and it does work. To say,
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that kind of philosophy. Like I saw
yeah,
this
I know.
thumbnail.
Yeah,
I saw this thumbnail, and the guy wrote on it, the devil's book they don't want you to read, and the video that you do not watch this video. Oh, that's really cool. And it was all AI as well.
that's a catchphrase.
No, I mean, it was AI. The whole video was AI. It was put together by AI. Even the voice was AI. It was done good. I ain't saying it weren't done bad because
Yeah,
it did.
I know those channels, man, and some are really doing good,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah,
With the
yeah.
conspiracies, and
It's
I
insane.
think
It's
that's why
insane.
I do like Nick a lot, is because he does love the Nazi, not the Nazis. Sorry,
You
what
said it
am I
now.
saying? He
Said it
loves
now.
the German history, about the UFOs because of the collection books. He loves collecting.
Yeah.
So
But
he
it's
does love
also.
that, but he's not into conspiracies like I'm not, like I
But,
do
but
believe in them, but
but the thing is, with every conspiracy, no matter how stupid it is, there's a little grain of truth. And that's what often
yes.
leads down this path is through following conspiracies and still with the conspiracies because I think what the German camp was doing was far out there and because we don't look deeper into it, especially let's say with their tech.
Alchemy,
Possibly. I know they
ether.
were up to, I know they were up to something because look at all that stuff. Look at all the stuff with and I know people want to say it's a conspiracy, but it's not. It's an open known fact that a lot of German scientists got 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 NASA started.
Yes, the
And
occultism and stuff.
you get it. That's where I was going with that one. You get it.
The CERN.
Jack Parsons. CERN's a different entity on its own, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, of course, because CERN is European. You know.
Well, it's not just European. I mean, they've got hydrogen. CERN's is at the moment, and I don't know if the Chinese has outdone them. Because I know the
Oh, I
Chinese.
think so. I
I know
think so.
I know the Chinese were building one. I don't know if
Yes.
it, I don't know if it's up and running. That's going to be bigger than CERN's. Thank you. Oh, God, I'm choking now. But there's there's hydrogen colliders around the world. There's one in America as well.
Oh yeah, and there's smaller ones and stuff.
Oh yeah, they're smaller. The only CERN's has got a bigger capability. But CERN, I think I personally believe, me personally. Now this is the conspiracy in me, but I do believe that they're trying to create things that were only used to create by magic.
Yes.
They're trying to find a loophole in this. That's what I think. But
Have you
yeah,
thought about the AI being a modem for that?
quite possibly.
You do. I do see a lot of connections. Wanting to get the chip on us.
Yeah. Yeah.
The constant talk about ascending and the truth is that hidden. The more that I research into this, the more it's there start appearing stuff on YouTube recommended about spiritualism, NDEs. I don't go much into that area. It's not much of my interest as well. Either the ghosts. I know they are here and they exist, but I don't go into cemeteries and look for them and stuff.
Well, why would they be there?
Nowhere where they kind of reside, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. No, we always have this running joke. Like,
okay.
cemeteries is like the least likeliest place they're gonna be.
Yeah, I've had some abnormal stuff happen near a cemetery as well, I can tell you. Have you the card games where you ask questions and you take the cards as the answer?
No.
So when I was younger, it was on fashion people playing the Ouija board. We call it the glass cup game.
Okay.
We didn't use the Ouija. We used a piece of paper with letters and numbers and yes and no and stuff like that. And then there was the card game. And the card game, you would start asking questions. Like we would go near a cemetery and ask some questions. And then this guy made a whole story about. He started making rough questions and he started asking if a brother of yours or died, or if someone from your family died, please lift the cards of the deck. And he put the deck on the street, and a little breeze come and two cards turned.
Mm.
And when that happened, man, it's strange, man. You get the chicken skin, and the card was, when he asked that question, the card that turned was a jack. And so he said, "Oh, so it was your brother that died and stuff." So he started continuing the questions, and I was like, it was a bit strong, and I never played that game again. And I think the Ouija board we played once or twice, it never worked. So I'm kind of
Uh,
glad for that. But I know of people who went crazy because of that.
yeah, I I dabbled with the Ouija board, and I'd always be 100% straight. There was there was two other dudes in our little group that used to mess about. So we knew when we were pushing it, but there was a couple of times when we were like looking at each other, and it was like, no, I'm not pushing it. Who's pushing this? We're not doing it. But it got a bit spooky because one of the guys now he started coming around, and I didn't realize till probably it was a little too late that he was uh basically a devil worshiper. Can't put it any clearer than that. Didn't realize that he was. Just I thought he was more of a goth,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
The goth is in itself a little, more anti, you know what I mean? Like,
No, no, yeah, but it's the way he dressed and everything, and like kind of the jewelry, like the paganistic jewelry that I thought he was a goth, but it's like he used to. I didn't know. See, I lived where I lived. It was like one of the first times I've left home, so I'm like 16, and
yeah,
the first place I could afford was a group house. So there was a bunch of us, and we were all living in one house. So it was like
yeah,
a
sharing
party. It was like a party house, man.
a republic. Yes.
We all had our own rooms, but this guy did not live in a house. So I'm recovering. So I'm laying on the couch, and he's come over and he's asked if he can use the Ouija board. And I said, "Yeah, go ahead, man." But I ain't. I can't. I'm just chilling out watching TV. So, so he sat in the living room. He sat on the living room table, which is behind me.
Hmm.
Dining room table, sorry, which is behind me. So I could hear what he was doing, and I'm just listening to him, man. I was like, guy's only like calling out the demons, man. Oh man, I told him to
Crazy.
get the hell out of the
Right.
house, man. But not in those choice words. But I told him to get the hell out, and then I
You
started
start
acting.
hearing the doors knock and the
Oh
cupboards
no,
opening.
no, nothing like that, man. Nothing like that. But you know what I mean. This fool ain't gonna connect. Thank God he didn't connect to nothing like that. But I'll tell you what, in his house, Jesus Christ.
Well decorated, I bet, right?
Oh, well, mate, that's another story, man. That's another story. But that guy was up to something, man. That guy was up to something. So he's some proper devil worshiper.
Yeah, look, many sometimes I don't think I know like anyone, but sometimes on where when we're talking about like these big influential people that you see on TV and even politicians, but I'm talking about like those old school people who are very famous on ufology, for example. And then you find out that there's some devil worshipping influence and things like that. There's a lot of conspiracies as well, right? Talking about that, about the sacrifice, and
Right. Well, you don't think that stuff don't go down?
the Shasta mountain. I
Mm,
know it does happen. I've heard that half of the mountain is owned by like Russians, and this Russians is like a retreat or something like that. So it's like a big retreat, and because of the power of the mountains, a lot of people are gonna try exploiting it, you know.
Mm.
So at sometimes it becomes, from what I've heard, it became dangerous just going there, you know.
Mm.
So it's
Places
not any person who goes there to Mount Shasta and visit
there's
it. It's
there's places that have been for millennium have been held sacred to whatever entity or deity or whatever. They're held
and they don't
sacred.
want people there.
Makes you don't you ever wonder why people will die for this stuff. People
Yeah,
will kill, people will kill for this stuff.
yeah.
And it's, I mean, I know this stuff is
It's
real.
secrets. If you think about it, it's secrets. You know,
It's not just it's I know it's secrets. I know it's secrets, but
eternal youth,
uh,
um,
there's nothing like that, man.
success.
That's all a given. That's all a given. You know, you're the epitome of who you are and what you hold there. You're selling off, and it's not just you. You're selling. You don't understand that bargain. You're selling off your kin.
Yeah.
You're selling everything. Everything. You're now the whimsical of something else. So have that success. It's
Not
short.
physical.
It's not earned. You
Yeah, exactly.
know, it's a different level, but this, I mean, it's insane. It's insane, and it's not gonna change.
No, because I do have a theory that that is associated with possibly, the 12 families, that control the world, you know, in a
What
way.
that they're reptiles.
No, like, I mean, the 12 families that financially control everything, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like governments, um, politics, um, friends of friends of friends, you know what I mean? Like, it's like any cult and anything like that. That's my
Well,
thought, you know.
it is. It is. You're right. It's a massive cabal.
To hide some secrets of growing yourself, or getting gifts that you never had it before, you know.
To me, I never understand why they would do things like this because I understand what they're doing. Don't want to say too much. I hope you do understand the most bizarre conspiracy theories that you hear about this stuff. Remember, there's a grain of truth. There
Yeah.
might even be more of a grain of truth, but there is some element of fact to it.
Oh, there's always,
And
and keeping the numbers.
there is a trail. There is also a trail though that you can
Yes.
follow.
The trail
It's
of thought.
it's weird. It's weird, man. It's totally. I tell you what. I used to love it because I had a job where I ran a hotel on the nighttime. So
Nice.
I did when I got my work done. I found myself with a few hours where I could just boom deep dive into things. So I was all over the place, and I came across a lot of a lot of insane stuff, and I still keep an eye on certain things.
Awesome, brother. You do, I do really enjoy your experience and your in a way humbleness in this field.
It's just, it's mate. It's not me. It's my viewers. Thank you. It's
Yeah,
my
I know, because they put you you know, in your, they help you out keeping the, you know, the common sense and everything.
and having a giggle and having a giggle, man. I know.
Exactly, and that's all about it, my brother. I think we
when
have to keep
when
that in mind.
whenever I put out a video, and I know these guys know that they know when I'm having a giggle. They know it. They know it. And
We have to do that.
and thank you. God bless you all, man. Because yeah, we gotta laugh. We gotta laugh, man. The this is what I'm saying. Let me see. I see the forces, evil forces.
Desire.
Uh, uh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think what has enslaved us is the monetary system.
Yep,
So
that's the root
it's
of all, you know, of all the problems. I think
there's
division.
such a gap. There's such a gap. We live in an era now where there really shouldn't be homeless people. There definitely shouldn't be people starving. The technology that we have, well, I mean, Israel turned a desert into farmland.
Yep.
That's the advances we have. So we could be applying why instead of giving a man a fish, give him a pond so he can fish in. Then we won't have to give him any fish.
Yeah.
And we can do that. Things we so it's an it's a bizarre world.
Yeah, man. And I know there in England you do have, you know, a little bit of overpopulation, right?
It's it it's
Not
not
overpopulation, but overcrowdness,
it's
I would
it's
say,
it's not
in the
it's
cities.
weird. It's weird. It's everywhere. It's not just in the cities. I don't live in the cities, but it's everywhere.
Yeah,
It's
I don't live in this. I live like 5 kilometers, but there's a few cities nearby, and
it, it's
it's grown a lot, you know.
it's hard to see what's going on at the moment because I can't get political, but I believe in the right to fly your flag, to
Yeah,
represent who you are. And anybody now that the whole flying your flag now has been
it's
hijacked.
not allowed. I know
Well, it is allowed, but
it's viewed as a threat.
it's being deemed as something else. Yeah, and it's a shame. It's because that
Yeah,
in
I know.
itself will build hostility. There's
How
already a
can how can you don't like your look?
mm,
Every past of each country had, you know, bloodshed. That's, you know, that's everywhere. So I don't think nobody, you know what I mean, like Portugal was built in, you know, we had to expel the Moors. That's what happened with the Portugal king, and
oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
you know, that's how it all developed, and you know, everything, the Templars and all that stuff.
See, I think
Still
this.
very rooted in that, right?
Well, I think this. I think this. David Icke said. He said many things, but one thing I always took that he said. He said they have the solution. They just need the problem. And I think because this is something that will sow this is sowing disharmony. Yeah, it's a powder keg, but I don't want to talk about that because it's not a nice thing, and I do believe again in the occult, and the occult uses a lot of energy, and what is being stirred up is a lot of negative
It's
energy.
being used, right? It's being created for a reason, and it's not only there. It's all over. It's all over,
Indeed,
man.
indeed, indeed.
It may not be
It's a
religious.
disturbing. It's a disturbing ease.
It may be political. It may be religious. You know, I think there are some things that we are getting better because, the race system thing, it's getting a little bit better. But in other places, it's not. I don't think so. In some places, is, but maybe in society generally, it's getting better. But there's always
See,
problems
I,
gonna rise, possibly in the future.
I never saw. See, I'm an old boy. Okay, so I'm growing up like in the late '70s, '80s, '80s. I'm like a teenager in the '80s. So
When I was born.
I never saw. I never saw. No, I did. There was always little jokes in our neighborhood, but when I first came to England, and when I first came to England, this is the first time I ever experienced racism. My cousin took me to a pub. Yeah, I was 15 when I come over here, but that didn't matter because I didn't look my age anyways. So
Yeah.
he took me to this pub. Me and him just walked in. So like I'm like talking to him, and I asked him a question, heard no answer, looked back, and my cousin, I couldn't, he wasn't behind me. So I walked out, and my cousin was being held up by the doorman, and I said, "What's going on?" And he said he can't come in. I don't know what gone on. I don't know what gone on. But he told me the guy was being racist. Because the moment I told him that he's with me, I said he's my cousin. He's with me. He goes, he's your cousin. And I said, yeah. He goes, you can get out as well.
Oh yeah.
But I don't, come when I'm telling that story, I don't know if my cousin lied to me because he was a bit of a white boy as well.
Oh, so the doorman was colored.
No, he
Okay.
was white. He was white. I'm of mixed race.
Oh, you are. Sorry, I never had that idea.
Oh,
I
it's all
never
right.
saw your face very well, but okay, so you're tanned.
Yeah, I'm what you would call caste.
I don't know that name, sorry.
My mother was mixed race.
Okay. Yeah.
So my family on my mother's side, they're black, they're Jamaican.
Okay. Jamaican.
Yeah.
Awesome. I've been to Jamaica a long time ago when I was 16.
I went when I
More or
was
less the time that I saw that UFO, I think about it. Because I maybe 17 when I was
Jamaica's
17.
Jamaica's a rough place, isn't it?
Look, I love Jamaican channels like Food from Jamaica. I don't know if I told you, but when I get sick of my belly, I always watch
So
Jamaican idol foods
when
to get my hunger back.
when you went to Jamaica, I know what you're trying to do. When you went to Jamaica, you're going to answer the question. When you went to Jamaica, did you go outside of the resort or did you stay in a resort?
Of course, man. Of course, I know what you're talking about. We went one day to like a kiosk where they were selling some stuff, and you looked to the sides and you didn't see anything, and you just saw sheds and humbleness. But further ahead there was like a club, and they said, oh, a lot of people come here at night, so you can come here. But when my father went to go, my father said, no way, we're not leaving
Mhm.
we're not leaving the resort. We
Yeah.
went once to the rivers, those river rapids, where you walk up the stream
What?
inside the water.
Okay.
It's quite dangerous, man. They had to help us out going up some places, but it was beautiful. They had a plantation there. They were asking me if I wanted to buy, but when I
What
got there,
plantation?
my father didn't give me any money at all. He said, "What do
What?
you need money? This is a full resort. You have everything. You don't need
Yeah,
money."
I want
Like
some weed, man. I want some
I had
weed.
to, I had to ask some money to my cousin, like borrow some money, like, oh, lend me like $20. And then
Did you
when
buy
we
some
were,
weed?
yeah, like, it was the price. The guy wanted whatever he wanted, 50. I said, look, I have 20, and he gave me like a little bit, like squashed. But when we were in the river rapids, they showed us a plantation where they had some branches with the buds,
Yeah.
and I was able to snuck a little bit into my shorts.
Uh,
I think on the journey it could smell a little bit, but I was sitting on top of it, so it lasted me for a little bit. Um, Listening to reggae all the travel to the area. Do you know any cooking channels from Jamaica?
no.
Like Rasta Moko?
Nope.
I
You know
do
what?
know a lot of them,
I,
like
I'm
Rasta
I
Moko.
I got to chill out on my diet. So one thing I don't watch is food programs because no matter what it is. So no, I don't watch food programs. The moment,
I
the,
don't watch for the food mostly. It's
see,
food, but the sounds of the nature.
oh, there you go. No,
The animals there, they're very active, like the
you watch a
and
lot
then
of different things, don't you?
look, I do like traveling, like and some channels, they really appeal with the good images and things like that. I like the natural foods because they're healthy.
Mm,
But I do like the whole experience, like being able to smoke, not legally, but it's almost legal, and it's good weather. So I do surf. So, I know there's some waves there. I would like to go there with the family. Have you been there for a while, or
what in Jamaica?
yeah, have you gone to Jamaica or not? Like,
My first and only ever experience lasted a week, and I said to my mom I would never touch foot in that country. They tried to rob my mom.
oh my gosh.
Oh man, so much fucked up. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear.
I
Just
know, I know. Look,
so much,
it's
so
it's
much
it's a
messed up
real
things
problematic.
went up out there. So
The
much messed up.
gangs.
Yeah, I mean, my mom took me to her hometown, so it was mad. It was insane. Mm,
Yeah, and when you get there, it's like a shock, right, on your
I
system.
mean,
Like,
I heard like everybody tells me, like stay. You go there, but you stay in the resort,
yeah,
and they all say they've had such a great time. Even the people that come on the beach selling them weed and stuff. And I was,
yeah, that happened to me.
I, was, I,
The big Rastafari guy.
I just couldn't go out there again. There's so many other places in this world that I'd like to see, and Jamaica's not one of them. No disrespect to Jamaica, it's just I didn't have a good experience, and you know,
Yeah,
At this point, I couldn't be any more disappointed than what I am. That's all I can say. I'd rather
Yeah,
spend my money and go to Cuba. I would love to go to Cuba and drink wine on the beach. Well,
yeah,
on
I
the
know what you mean,
on
bro.
on,
Right?
on the rocks, listening to some jazz, man, and smoking a fat one, man. That's
Without
what
having to look over your side and things like that, like just
I.
to be, just to, just
As long as you walk a righteous path, man, you never have to look over your sides. Never. That's how I feel, man. That's how I feel. Uh I'll tell you who I really like. Because I see somebody put Peter Tosh. I'll tell you who I really like. Buju Banton. You remember Buju? Till Shiloh, that album. Jesus Christ, what an album. You ever heard of him? Buju Banton?
I think so. I think so.
Till Shiloh.
Is it the more like not not as known stuff, right?
I don't know. I don't know.
I've heard a lot of stuff from Jamaica, man. Like when I was there, I heard the real Jamaican stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I had some.
they taught me there. Like when I was there, they said, "Okay, I have to do this because of the. I need to charge the phone." Either way, I had a lot of fun, but I was young. I went with my parents and my grandmother. We had a really good time, but we never left the resort. Yeah.
And that's why you had a really good time, my friend.
But we
Leave the
didn't go to
resort.
clubs. We were just at the beach and did those rapids. It's really good in the rapids because you find some people with agriculture and things like that,
Uh,
and you can maybe get it cheaper. But I couldn't really do much of that with my parents there.
there
Um,
you go. There
only
you go.
when they went to sleep.
There you go. Nah, nah.
Awesome, brother. Brother, what do you think? You're pretty happy for today?
I'm all.
We're almost on the 2 hours.
Oh, okay. You want to wrap it up?
Do you want to tell any more? Do you have any other story you want to finish up? Like any ghost story or anything you remember?
Well, I have a video
Oh, yeah.
that I wanted to
But
go through with you guys.
okay, let's do it.
You want to bring it up?
Of course, I can't because I'm on my phone. But if I can get my other phone, if you want,
Oh,
and show it on my camera.
nah, never mind, man. Never mind. Don't worry about it. No, do you have any ghost stories? I have loads.
Yes.
I just can't think
Yes.
of any at the moment because I have loads.
Okay, so I'll tell you one of a friend of mine. It was quite close. I told it to Nick as well. It's about a friend of mine that in 2 weekends in a row, he saw like a smoky figure. He lives near a cemetery. His parents actually, when he was there, and we used to go every weekend. We used to go to like a coffee shop, pub, a little pub close by. Drink some beers, hang out with some friends. Then maybe we would want to go to the city if we want to go to clubs and stuff. So, it's like a first stop, first encounter spot. Many of them don't pass that spot and they get drunk and then they just go home. So we just go there, we meet with some friends, we drink a little bit, talk a little bit, and then everybody goes home. Some go and eat something and then they go home. When he arrived, he parked his car, and on the top of the road, he saw like The way he explained to me in Portuguese was that he saw a human figure,
Mm.
the color of a cloud, okay, at night. So like a translucent kind of smoky figure. And when he left the car, he was crossing the road. He looked up their street to see if there's some car was coming, because it's just obvious. It's a big road, long road. It's not asphalt, it's those square stones. And he sees someone there. And he noticed that as he's walking, crossing the road, and looking at the figure, the figure is crossing the road with him, but further ahead, further, like half a mile, maybe
Mm.
500 meters, more or less, maybe. And then he stops. He comes back to confirm, and the figure is crossing the road back as well. And he's like, "What the fuck?" Sorry. And then he crosses the road back to his house, and the figure continues. And he was like, "I don't know, this is weird," but he got a little bit spooked and he went inside and he went back. The next weekend, we went to the pub again. He never told me, when we were at the pub, I never knew anything. And that night, I think he arrives home. He goes, of course, he's gonna look to the top of the road. And there it is, the figure again. He goes out of the car. It's mimicking. I think this time he stops on the end of the road, and he's like, I'm not sure if he calls it, or I'm not sure. I have the story on my YouTube. It's on my paranormal and YouTube UFO sightings.
Mm.
And this figure jumps in all fours and starts running towards him.
Whoa.
And by now he's like completely not shivering but chicken skinned,
Mm. Pissed his
and
pants
getting
moment.
closer. I don't know if he does like something like that.
He's
And
emptied his bladder.
I'm not sure, I don't think so, but
That's
as
the
he's
bit. That's the bit
it
he's
looks
left
like
out.
it's gonna cross him, like it's gonna cross his body.
Yeah.
But as it gets close to him, right as it's getting close to him, it deviates and it continues down the road. So, that's the story really. And it
Wow.
never happened again. So I think it just wanted to let itself known to him. I don't know. Um, I do have. I forgot to tell you the story of my very good friend in 2012. Hidden. The reason why I believe, I did believe before. I'm not gonna say I believe in aliens and UFOs, but the reason why I know that the metallic saucers are real, okay?
Mm.
And I'm just talking about the metallic saucers, okay? I do know that some of them have people inside or whatever, humanoids. But I do know that many of them, they are just, uh, sensors and, like sensors, X-ray to watch over your ceiling. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Things like
Mm.
that. I'm sure about that.
Mm.
And the reason why I'm sure about that is that this friend of mine, he's a very, very good close friend of mine. he's like in the doctor. I'm an osteopath, so I do have friends, doctors and physiotherapists and nurse and things like that. And he's on the, him and his wife are doctors and nurse. And his wife has nothing to do with UFOs. Him at the time in 2012, he didn't as well. And he arrived home at 11 p.m. It was a 21st. It was here we have St. John's Day, which is on the 21st of June. Oh, sorry, I'm not checking the chat.
No, I'm all right. He's telling me to wake up, man. He thinks I'm charmed, man. I'm charmed. This is when I can tell people. You know what? One time I worked
You're really relaxed.
when I when I was at the hotel. When I worked at the hotel, yeah, because I love this job, man. They left me alone. They left me alone, yeah. So I just smoked. When I got my job done, I used to smoke weed because you don't really have guests turning up late at night, yeah, or early hours of the morning. So this one time, this guest turned up and I was stoned, man. Oh, I was proper stoned. And they looked at me and they said, they turned to me. They said, "Are you high?" And I
Are
said,
you
"No,
alright?
no." They said, "Are you high?" And I said, "No, I'm half Chinese." And they went, "Oh, sorry."
That's a two in one. We call it a two in one. It
Uh,
saved you and it
um,
made him shut up.
I had a workmate. I had a workmate, and we used to play this game with the guests. We called it the meow game. And what it consists of is now on a Friday and Saturdays the hotel was busy because they would have like people would come to drink at the bar, but
Yep.
they would also have like functions on like tribute acts, or there'd be a disco going down,
Or
or
people playing music.
there'd be a wedding, and that's when we
Yeah,
were
I know
all,
people do that, play that, at weddings and
yeah.
stuff. All kinds, yeah.
So you know how busy it gets. So
Yeah.
we'd play me and the other night guy. We'd play the meow game with those people, and what it is, they'd come and ask us a question, and if it was a long-winded answer that we could give them, we'd do the long-winded answer, but somewhere along it would meow. So it'd be like I don't know how to give it to you, meow. But we slam in a meow somewhere. And so we do it backwards and forwards until the guest starts looking at you like, and you can see them. Did this mofo just meow? Oh man. The meow game was funny.
I've heard of a lot of stories in hotels,
Oh,
here in Portugal. I bet it's the same all over, right?
pretty
I hate
much.
it. Let me just,
When
sorry.
you do when you're dealing with human beings,
And
you're
if they're drunk,
well, you're dealing with their needs. So I was always class myself as a facilitator. I had people on speed dial. 2, 3 in the morning. You need a hookup? I can get you it.
yeah, I know here in Portugal at hotels, you can get anything.
Yeah. Well, you think it's crazy, but I'm going to tell you this now. Some of these guys that find themselves in a position like in the hotels of London, where the
Yeah.
money is good, when they leave their job, they have a book, and it's openly known. They sell their book, and this book is worth grands. No, some some guys get The highest I've heard a book go for was 5 grand, and it's just phone numbers. That's all it is.
Yeah, and that's worth a lot.
Indeed,
It's called it's like a business.
it's called the book. The book.
Hidden. Let me just tell you. Remember, I was telling you that friend of mine. He saw two saucers pass on top of his head,
Why?
30 meters above his
Why
head,
was his missus upset with you?
slowly.
I'm messing. I'm messing.
She kind of asked him not to talk. She didn't want to be branded. Not to talk much. But he told me, and he told me, look, I don't want to have my identity
No.
revealed, but I have this story. And he told me that they passed slowly over his balcony in like near the river in the city.
How long ago was this?
2012 on the 20, he said it was 2 days before Saint John. Saint John is on the 21st or 23rd of June. So it was like 3 days after. It's on my video. I don't remember, but it's like 3 days, 11 o'clock. And from what I gathered, it passed over his head, went on top of the bridge, and
Mm.
one of them, remember, it was at night, it was a full moon, and he said he only saw them because the moon reflected on the saucer and reflected on his glasses. That's why he caught it right on top of him. Like, no noise, no nothing. So him and his wife, they're witnesses, and they went slowly towards the above a bridge, and then one of the because the airplanes, it's like where two cities they kind of join near the river. One side is one city, on other side is another city, and then you have the airport on the big city on the right. So the airplanes, they come from England and they cross, and then they go down on the airstrip, on the airport. And one of them followed the airplane. So he thinks that one of them wanted to make sure that it was making sure that the airplane was going down swiftly, like
Mm.
either it could be military, or not. Could be some drones, some silent drones,
Yeah, but
or
regard
it could be whatever, it could
regardless.
be aliens, whatever,
Yeah, but so why doesn't this guy want to come forward?
Look, he doesn't want to be. He told me that he's a little bit afraid that they will recognize him on the hospital that he works, and they
Okay,
will,
ridicule him,
not ridiculed. He will lose his
fire him.
job. I think it's more, yeah.
That's fair enough.
His
And
wife,
and
she's
let,
a doctor, so
oh,
I think she
well,
doesn't want any,
well,
recognition about that.
let's
It's
strip
just a story,
let's strip the meat from the bones here now. Do they have any pictures or any videos
No,
that it
you
didn't
know what
happen?
he told me? You know what he told me? He
Yeah,
said that he lighted his cigarette.
and he said he
Okay,
didn't take a goddamn picture.
he was smoking a cigarette with his wife, and he said that didn't even um he didn't want to miss it, you know,
Mm,
because it was length of a cigarette. So a cigarette takes like how much? Like 3-4 minutes, right?
mm, mm.
So 2012. I don't know if there's already phone technology going around, so there's phones already with relatively good cameras,
Yeah,
but
well,
he told me
you
that he
got,
didn't even think about it. He wanted to see everything. He wanted to see.
and that's the trade off. That's the
Yeah,
trade off. So you see,
but
this
you
is the
know,
thing. I agree with him. It's better to stay silent because you have no physical evidence.
yeah.
So just stay silent, keep your job, then rather come out, lose your job, and people are gonna laugh at you and you got nothing to back you up other than a story.
Look, he's not gonna get a book released. He's not gonna get money by telling a story, and people are kind of designed, the big chiefs of those hospitals and things like that, government, they are, they don't want a confusion, they don't want someone that is not mentally fit.
Indeed.
I think that's it, really, but
So what
the
whatever reason they got
yeah,
reason.
but the way, how can I say, it's how people say, look, are you going to believe so much in someone's account? And I'm like, why not? This is like someone who doesn't want recognition of something that he was lucky to see. You know what I mean?
That's it.
That's it. He told me he thinks that they could have been there searching for people because there's a lot of buildings there. It's a big, densely occupied area,
Mm.
tourists and all of that.
Make someone go missing.
So I don't know. It was interesting, that
Who
story.
knows?
That was the only story he told me, and I'm kind of. It was like a big impulse on my channel when I started, and mainly in my mind as well, because he had told me that story before, but because I was younger and I didn't care about UFOs. But
Oh, that,
now, some years
oh,
ago, I started getting interested, and he tells me, "Look, didn't I told you that before, that me and my wife saw UFO, two UFOs, two saucers?" And I'm like, "But two saucers, metallic?" And he says, "Yes, like metallic, one piece with a little dome on top." Look, he described me everything, and and then I said, "Yeah, I do remember you talking to me some years ago, but I didn't care about it at the time." So that's it, really. Sometimes people have experiences, they tell you, but you don't care. But then you get interested, and then they say, "Oh, didn't I told you that I had a case?" And I said, "No," and they tell me, and I'm like, "Okay, thank you." And so,
see,
it was good at the time, but
see,
it's not
I was
evidence, you know
always,
what I mean? Just
I was always, I was always interested as a kid because
a good friend.
we
Do you
had
have friends
stories.
of yours, like really good friends, like which they have no reason to lie at you?
I
Stories?
no, I can only I can't give like I know I have experiences, so that's where I draw from. Like
Yeah, exactly. Me too. Me too. My experiences help a little bit. Those things I told you, that I saw the light appearing, the blinking, and
mm,
other people have seen that as well. I
mm,
contact with other people who've seen that. They call it the blinking, when they wink at you, they say
mm.
it's that. I think, it could be some weird satellite, whatever, something
Nah,
like
man,
that.
I don't know. I think there are a lot of
Are you a
things.
believer then, right, brother?
In what?
Like, you are, what I say, I am a skeptic believer, okay? So I know they exist, but I do not believe like
Well, everything that you're seeing.
everything. Yeah, I need evidence, okay?
Yeah,
Big,
I'm with you.
big,
Yeah,
big reveals. You need big evidence. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But that's more the
like,
political things. That's more like the political things. Like I've always said there's footage out there.
oh yes, yes, it's the footage I want, but I want the evidence, like the medals, the dropouts that the UFOs drop, the white angel hair, um,
The alien weed.
look, I would love to watch like a UFO taking someone up, like from afar,
What? Well, I would rather be that person going somewhere far. Now, if I didn't have my daughter, man, I'd enjoy that little trip.
Yeah, look, I've cried about that once, Hidden.
Really?
I cried about that once because I kind of, I'm not gonna say, I had a message because I don't, but I had a feeling, I told you when I saw the ISS and I jumped outside of my garden, I think I already had my baby, my first son.
Mm.
But now that I have more, I don't wanna go unless it's go and come back, because that's one of my dreams is to
You shall have that.
see Earth from the craft.
You shall have that. I feel I believe in a lot of weird things. And see, I believe there's a consciousness to us, all of us. This is my
Like
hippie
the
stone.
afterlife, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
within this conscience, it still has to follow the laws of science, so to speak.
Physics. Look, in
Oh,
this planet, you have physics, but outside, they do not apply anymore. And it's
they
very
don't.
big.
They don't somewhat. They don't somewhat because to hear that the energy is still a form of matter, charged energy particles that can travel anywhere in this universe.
Yeah.
That's a
I've
sight
seen
to
I've
behold.
seen a documentary of a Japanese old guy from the 80s. He's called Michu
Really.
something. I'm gonna leave you the documentary.
Don't worry about it, mate. I won't watch it. I'm busy. I'm sorry because I'm on this. I am really sorry. It sounds bad, but I'm on this little side project where I'm learning history. So I'm
Okay.
learning about the Ottoman Empire at the moment.
My uncle is a teacher. Is a history teacher.
Oh man.
Ottoman, where is that? Tell me a little bit.
Well, that would be the would you class
English.
no Turks? They were
Okay.
Muslims.
Yes. Yes.
Muslim
Yes. I know.
Turks.
I know. I know. Yeah. Okay. I've actually heard something about the Ottomans, the
Ottomans.
Turkish wanting some land from Syria. No, from some neighbor country because it was once the Ottoman
I
kingdom, right?
don't know. I don't know
I do.
because
I've heard something about that.
I knew absolutely nothing about them. So and it was kind of interesting because I'm on two things and I don't really like doing this because I'm also learning about Rome.
Oh, Rome.
Yeah, the
Have you
Roman
been to
Empire.
Rome?
Nah.
You know that Portugal was part of the Roman Empire
Hmm.
as well. Yeah, it got to England. Yes, it stopped in England. Your guys have that show, very important show on TV about the guys uncovering the grounds. What is it called? Archaeology something?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't remember there in the English TV? They they find some areas and they excavate it on for the show. It's on that
Uh,
channel called with starts with a B. Okay. I don't want to say anymore.
okay. Nah, I'm sorry. Nah, it's just a thing like I don't know how to put it. It's not like something I've always been interested in. So maybe this is an older program and I just don't care. It's just something that I'm interested in now, and I find it like it because I just got to the parts where King Sultan Mehmet II, I believe, is it's and Vlad the Impaler, Vlad Dracula.
Ah, he's like feared by many because of his brutal techniques.
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting because it's like we can look upon it as brutal techniques, but you have to remember that's the size that he was.
Ceremonial.
What no, what he it wasn't ceremonial. What he was fighting against was the Ottoman Empire. They had 100,000 soldiers coming at Vlad, and Vlad had 20,000 tops.
Yep.
So
He had
Vlad,
some
Vlad,
powers, you know.
no, Vlad was playing psychological warfare. It was nothing but psychological warfare. There weren't nothing spiritual in it. It was just psychological warfare. That's all it was.
Scaring the enemy.
Indeed, indeed. And he was the master. Did you know? I didn't know this. Did you know that on the Ottoman camps? Yeah, he got the plague victims, and he unleashed the
Yeah.
plague victims. Yeah, people that were suffering with plague. He rounded them up and unleashed them onto the camp. So technically, he was committing germ warfare.
Yeah, he was biological weapons.
Yeah, yeah. Vlad was dread, man. Vlad was dread. He put up a good fight, man. He put up a good fight. And even
I
when
do love
and
the
even,
movies.
and even when he left, see, I'm watching the documentary, but it's told by historians. So,
With bigger details.
well, this is the whole thing. This is one thing that I always look at things. This is why I'm kind of interested in the Ottoman, because I know they had something to do with the beginning of the fall of Rome. I know they had something to do with it, so that's why I'm looking at the Ottomans because I'm interested in Rome.
Yeah, that's very interesting. The how they fell, right?
I don't. This is why I'm interested in it because I've got this belief. My mindset has changed of late, and I've got this belief that Rome has never fell. Rome is here, and it's still as powerful as it's ever been. But in order for me to understand did Rome really fall, I have to understand the history of Rome.
Yes, 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 exactly.
But
Exactly.
I don't believe Romans fell. I honestly
I know
don't.
what you mean. I
And
know what you mean.
I've started to believe that by looking at old English history as well, and even with the you could see the influence of Rome, even with the Vlad thing.
Yep. Do you think they were involved, right? Yeah,
Well,
with the Ottoman.
well the thing is, what I presumed happened was Vlad was expecting some aid from the Hungarians. When I say aid, I mean by military,
Hmm.
and they would never come to his aid. And the Hungarians were Christians. Well, yeah,
Yeah, mostly.
they were by the Pope. They were run by the Pope. They were a Christian nation. You if we can say you can say they weren't all Christians, and I get that. But what I'm trying to say is what governed them was the Vatican.
Yeah,
Even though they were rulers, you know what I'm trying to say?
they had to change not to be exposed. Maybe
I
is
don't
that
know.
what you mean, right?
I don't know.
They
I
had
don't know.
to
But
camouflage themselves
I
because
think
remember that the fall of Rome is, that big family, the not the Medinas. They have like a very Italian name, and they start murdering
Merovingi,
each other.
the
Like,
Merovingi.
yeah. Have you seen that show? There's a series about the Maravici.
Is it any good? No, I haven't seen it, but I know. See, the
Look,
thing
you
is,
start seeing how things work. It's like they start poisoning each other,
uh,
daggering.
uh,
It's so much lust and interests in the land, and competition and politics, that and they had to change a little bit so that people wouldn't be as murderous, you know what I mean, towards the high class who ruled. Remember the king's thing, like, you know Rome was the same, right? It was kings and queens, but Rome was like the
at the beginning.
yeah, right? But afterwards it wasn't already families who were, it was like different people just getting into power. And
Yeah, but there was
so I
always
don't know.
at the back of it was there was always a Senate
Yeah,
at
and
the
that
back.
Senate was like
There,
the
there was every so often that one did come along and get rid of the Senate, but that was short lived.
exactly. So nowadays it's just changed by the elections. So,
Oh yeah,
but there's
yeah.
always someone
That's in
moving the little chords.
indeed, and that's how it works.
And
That's how
that's
it works.
that's what I was talking you about, the 12 families that control the stock market.
Well, it's just everything.
They get involved in governments, and I don't know. That's at least that's what I've been hearing about what people think.
It's to me, right? It's not that far out of the realms. I mean, they have Bilderberg meetings, and there's a few other meetings that the same cats tend to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, where we talked earlier, the sacrifice. Do you know that
Indeed.
comes a little bit from the Aztecs and the Peruvian. They had to sacrifice people to have good crops, and
Yeah.
those
But
signs from the sky, the
it's every culture though. I mean, the Norse used to sacrifice when they had a good crop.
okay, it was the opposite.
Yeah, they gave thanks by sacrificing, and it all depends on what you want to sacrifice and who you want to sacrifice. I mean, the very term, you ever heard of the term scapegoat?
Yeah.
That's based on sacrifice. A goat is
Yes.
sacrificed. So it is in every culture to sacrifice. It's the deity that you're sacrificing it to. It's the power of that. You know, it's the power of blood. And then you go
Yeah.
back.
Did you see the show on that guy who had that English? No, that occultist guy. I think you've Ollie did a show on it. I'm not sure if you and Nick probably did it as well. That
Oh, Alistair Crawley.
yes,
Uh,
you've done a show on him, right?
yeah.
With Nick.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes,
Yeah, I
indeed.
did remember Ollie did a show on him as well. That was the first time I think I've heard more of him was when Ollie was around.
Crawley's influence is vast and wide. The fact that we're even talking about him today is kind of insane, but it is what it is, man. These people are out here to tell us. I mean, we look upon their mindset and some of the stuff. Don't forget this guy Crawley was. I you know what? I can't discredit him. All I can just say is just later on in life he became, a junkie.
Yeah.
That's all I can say, and that's a shame. I mean, I don't know.
Remember those times they didn't know what heroin was as much, it was
Uh,
uh, you know.
I read a book. I read a book a long time ago because it's been a long
I-
time since I read a book. But I read a book, and it was talking about this was set in London, and this guy I forgot who he said, but it was like a famous author was there. They went to this house in London, and I think, and this is going back to like 18 something, 18 like 90, something like that. And they went to this house, and he's like said when he walked into the living room, there weren't no seats. There were just cushions all on the floor, and they were going in there smoking opium. It was an opium house
yeah.
in London. So I think from dawn of time narcotics have been
Do you
around.
know about the opium wars, right?
Which one?
Like
I've seen several.
England actually invaded one of those, eastern countries that produced heroin just because they wouldn't supply them enough for their needs and they had to invade it. So it's quite known. It has
Get
some
it?
a while ago. It was like maybe many years ago, you
Hook up
know.
on the market, man.
And they fought against Chinese probably. I'm not sure if the Chinese were involved, bro,
See,
because they gave them a little bit and then they got them hooked on it, like the big society, and you know how the big society works, and the government got involved and they had to get it. Simply as that.
see, when
We
when I,
Europeans are a lot like that, right?
see, well, when I was a young lad, I remember a conversation with a police officer, and he ended up saying to me, he explained to me basically necessary evil. There's a certain amount of shit that goes on that these guys know. In fact, they might even have a little hand in what they're doing. But as long as it's controlled, then it's okay. Necessary evil. And then I later on realized that was a term from the Bible. This dude was just playing me out how shit goes down on the street.
Yeah, man. Rough. The streets is rough. I wanted to ask you something as well. Do you know Steve Mira?
Never heard of him, but if you hum it,
Oh my God, man. He talks a lot about NHI.
the new term for alien.
Yeah, but
Because
he's kind of old
now,
style, man. He's English.
let me ask you a question, John. Let me
He's
ask
good.
you a
I like
question.
him.
Let me ask you a question. This term NHI. Now, does not your cat have some sort of intelligence?
Yeah,
Is that
it,
not
it could
is
it
your
could
cat
be it could be misleading. I know what you mean.
yeah, but is your cat human?
Yeah,
Your cat's human.
exactly.
Oh, your
It's
cat's
not
human.
human, exactly. Yeah,
So isn't that a non-human intelligence?
it could be right. It
Don't
could
you think
be.
they're taking the Jen Michaels out of you?
Look, I heard
I'm
that
sorry,
term
guys.
recently.
I can't.
I don't
Oh,
have much
sorry.
to say. It's like, is
I,
it like
I
the other one? Is it like the UFO became the UAP?
possibly. No, I think
Like
what it is.
telepathic
I think
messaging
no. I'm gonna be.
became NHI?
I'm gonna be quite honest. I think UAP was being used. I'm gonna go out on a limb here,
Is it?
but I
Yeah.
think it was being used back in 90. I want to say 95. I could be wrong, but there's been some documents from 95 where they were using the term UAP, and I think UAP been was an internal use of the term.
Okay.
But
More
then all of a
military.
sudden, but yeah, yeah. But then of
Elizondo
late,
brought it.
and a few others, he's not the only one to blame. A few others been banging on about it to call
Yeah,
him
all
calling
on the
it like
same
that.
team. Yeah.
It's come into play. So, but the NHI, I've never seen that been referred to any kind of documents that they've released, past and what's coming out. I have seen it. No, I have seen it. I have seen people refer to it,
Talking
but
about it. Yeah.
I think it's stupid. You say a dolphin has intelligence, but that's not human.
Yeah, and you want to kind of talk about more the messaging, like
No, why don't you
the
just call it an
telepathic
alien?
message rather than the intelligence, you know.
Why don't you call it an extraterrestrial or an alien? Why now is it you? It's they're trying
Look,
to
I
get you
think the
to refer.
extraterrestrial, if you put it by, like go to the letter, it means, outside of Earth, originates. But what I think people are starting to talk more is people are starting to say, why do they have to be from outside of our planet? Why aren't they inside or on another dimension but here?
I'm glad they're having that
Or
conversation because this is what we used to talk about back in the days.
yeah. And look, there's still people who believe that there's a huge hole in Antarctica where you go in and there's, if you go deep enough, you go under the water and you still get they say there's light. I don't know how there's light there. And you have an atmosphere under the water. And look, I hardly believe that, but who knows, right? Maybe not as deep as we think under the ice, but
Well,
there's
see,
water, you just need
I
oxygen.
unshamedly buy into the inner earth.
Or the
And
dimension. You don't like the dimension one?
I buy into that as well. I buy into interdimensional.
Because of the not because of the portals, because um, there needs to be a way for them to kind of, have their bases in a way. Not bases, but their.
I I
Look,
I
I don't
I
think they're like us, like have procreate, right? They don't procreate.
I think some of these things they're curious. I think some of these things they have this ability. I don't know how, and I don't know how it works. I honestly don't know, but I know that they have an ability to come from their field to our field. Who knows if they're not always around? Because then we go to the science on this with the spectrum of sight and the levels that we can see, and we can only see in a very small spectrum compared to all the spectrums of light that is there.
Yeah,
So we don't know there for if they're operating all the time, and it's only certain times when certain things are right we get glimpse of these things. Who knows? Who knows? But sight wise, we're blind. We are literally blind, and
and
I'm,
we are
I'm,
being
I'm
blinded, I think, by something either in our pituitary, which many people say that they're trying to calcify it so we don't have that extra sensorial
there's a bit of an argument with that. Well, it's not the, it's
fluoride.
what it is. What the deal is with that is there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things going on. So it's the Joker effect, my friend. It's not just one thing that they're aiming this thing at. It's everything. Like all right, I'm gonna get deep now because I'm stoned. But we're all on a frequency.
Yep.
Everything. This is medical. We generate a frequency. This frequency is in tune to another frequency out in the universe. Now we're supposed to be going at a certain frequency, but we ain't. We're at a different frequency. Somehow the pitch has been changed or it's been altered. I don't understand how that is. Other people will say and give their theories on that, and that's fair enough. But somewhat I do agree because they're showing the data on this. Have you ever heard about this?
I don't think so.
It's insane shit, man.
But I know that the Earth is tilting a little bit or not tilting as much.
But
And it's changing the magnetic a
yeah,
little bit.
that happens. It's
I
uh,
do think that's like the normal,
cycle.
yeah.
Indeed,
But
me too.
we it doesn't have to be like the same cycle happening again, but always
Oh,
changing a little bit, and then
well,
due to the increasing of the universe and the speed of everything, you know what I
well,
mean? Like, because
we will
from what
always.
we gather, it's huge where we live, so there may be
What do you mean?
many phenomena that we don't even know, and possibly very likely other, you know
Visitors?
either civilization behind us in other planets that no longer exist, or they evolved. I do have that feeling that there has been an evolution in the sense of how the world has been going. Like, how can I say? I'm not gonna say like with talk about behaviors. I'm talking about, there's things that, there's been the fires in those libraries. you know they didn't have to be a fire to hide the information. You know what I mean? They can just hide it. But there's, fires are quite common as well. So, ancient, many years ago, fires were quite common.
Well, the best things they used to do, and I still think they still do it to this day, is they taught. They passed. They had the human books.
That's
So
it, really.
it's still, but it's still being
But
done
we
to
only
this today.
last 80 years, 80, 90, maybe
I mean,
less,
I
maybe
mean,
more.
you look what they do with the Quran. Do you know this about the every Muslim? They have to know the Quran.
Yeah, I know that.
They're a walking. They're the walking book. If the book should disappear, they are the book. So
That's you have to memorize quite a lot, right? A lot of
well,
verses, I think.
yeah, yeah. Because I know back in the days, I know some people that I used to hang out with. They used to disappear until 6, 7 o'clock because they had to go somewhere to learn the Quran. Afterwards, they were all right though. They were
I
happy to
did
commit
religious
Quran.
studies until the first communion. I did the first communion, but I didn't do more. I didn't.
I feel,
Then I started surfing, and
yeah. Now, you know what? You know what? I felt bad about it all. My experience, my journey there wasn't pleasant, and then I found myself going to church for the wrong reason. I just found that church was a place where people could be the falsest that they could be. you know.
I do. Look, I don't go much to church here, but because when I go, I only meet like friends that some friends. I don't know much more people. I don't know the older. So I tend to go to churches that I don't know anyone, but there's one close by that I go sometimes, and I meet some people. But that's really it. I have my kids on religious studies. One of them
Mm,
is a scout,
mm.
and he's also in religious studies. They talk about Jesus and always Jesus first and this and that. And, I do, when I was young and I did the religious studies, the feeling that I had was that Jesus would be like a kind of a friend that would help us in this journey of growing,
Mm.
as a good person and this and that. And then we have the baptism and this and that, the marriage, the funeral. So it's all kind of linked up. So we're kind of,
It's life all summed up in a little box.
it's kind of, uh, life for me is not that. It's not the funerals, but I do like the marriage.
I
We
bet
were
you
married
did. I bet
in
you
the
did.
in the in the church. I was a
The,
bit
the
nervous, but
honeymoon.
after the church was cool. Even the church was all right. I just pretended I was alone with her and
see,
say yes to everything
see,
and
I'll,
say her
I'll
name.
I'll say this. I'll say this now. I would love to. One day I'm gonna marry my girl, but I'm not gonna do it in a church. I want to do it under a nice tree.
Yeah, yeah, man. Look, I did it on the church because of my wife, really, because she was more religious than I.
Uh,
But nowadays we're pretty much the same. But she does know all the stories about the Bible and this. And look, I've learned so much with her,
mm. It
and
ain't a
I
bad
like
thing.
an Easter watching the movies. Like repeating watching the
Which
movies.
which one's your favorite?
Look, I wanted to talk to you about something, but look, we're gonna try and get this over at the 3-hour mark, okay? The one of the
Hmm.
best movies that I like is the Fatima movie. You have to watch it. And there's one on Netflix, the Fatima. And I wanted to talk to you quickly about Fatima because I'm reading a book and I'm also translating it.
Mm.
And the Fatima is very associated with the mother of Jesus. But what I'm starting to read on this book, which is a lady,
The Fatima sighting.
which, yeah, the
Okay.
Fatima site, and they have they put the movie
Was it the
here.
three girls? Was it the three girls?
Yeah, the two girls and one
Two.
boy.
Okay. Sorry.
The boy
Sorry, calling
died.
you a girl.
The boy died not very long after the sighting with the girl, and the boy didn't listen to the girl. He only saw her. Only the two girls heard the girl, the humanoid, the girl, but only Lucy heard and could talk with her. Okay,
Yeah.
so only one of them heard and talked. The other
Yeah.
one saw
Yeah.
and heard, and the boy only
So,
saw. He couldn't hear anything.
do you believe it?
Oh yeah, man.
Me too. Me too.
Look, hidden. There is. I've heard it on a YouTube channel on a Portuguese guy talking about the 420. He tells that where they had the sighting, there was like a very typical tree there, a
Mm.
zingaida. I think it's a zingaida, something like that. It grew there, but they say that there was a cult on that land that they grew cannabis,
Mm.
they smoked cannabis, and this guy who told the story was kind of saying, "Oh, that was like a massive THC party they've done."
Yeah. So.
And look, when he tells me that, I'm like, "Mother f." He's like, is he telling the story bad, or he's getting like some weird? But
You
what
don't
he
smoke
said, it
weed.
was true, is that this cult adored a lady called Fatima, which in the Muslim more
Mm.
when Portugal was more
Mm.
Muslim,
Mm.
they lived in that area. That's why the cult that remained there was kind
Oh.
of the pagan, because they weren't Christian, they were
Mm.
more Muslim, you know.
Mm.
So they call paganism Muslims pagans
But
here
isn't it?
in the Iberic Peninsula in a way.
Why what? And there was, but the thing is, there was more than one sighting of her, because didn't the Fatima
It
didn't
was
the,
every look. It was every month since August. So on the
how
28th or
was that
23rd,
how was that a THC hallucination?
yeah, and only the kids saw it.
It didn't, because I'm sure it went to a church as well. It was seen at the
They
church.
the sister Lucy got a message telepathically. They say, because nobody else heard it, from the lady saying to build a church on that site, kind of, and
Mm.
on the site of that tree. And so you know what they did? They say they transplanted the tree from the original site
Mm.
to where it is right now. And I showed it when I went to Fatima. I've done like a few live streams when I went to Fatima, and
Mm.
there is a plaque on the wall and it says, "This is the real tree." And it's like an ancient tree, man, like it's ancient. But they say they had to move it when it was small. and then they say when it's the real place. And you know where is the real place?
Where
They put a column with the
tree would have been.
with the bust, not the bust, the lady, the mother of Jesus Christ, the
Mm.
sorry,
Miriam.
the Mary Fatima, the Fatima lady, yeah, the
Miriam.
religion. This lady that wrote the book says that the Vatican accepted the miracle
Mm.
of everybody getting the clothes dried after the sun moved. Some people saw a craft kind of cloaked, like in the middle of the light of the sun. They say that the sun was the craft. And they also say that the Lady of
I've
Fatima,
heard that
she
one.
had a globe with spikes on her hands. It's on my Fatima,
Mm.
the book that I'm translating, and it's on a playlist. It's about Fatima something.
But see,
The,
but
the
see,
playlist.
why back in the olden days? See, this is the thing. Back in the olden days.
1900.
No, but
That's what.
I'm going way back when, like, say, back in the olden days of, say, King Saul, King Solomon. I mean, King David. They had
Yeah, who wrote the Bible, the new Bible? No,
no,
that's King.
no
That's
that's
another king, I think.
King James.
Yeah.
That, but he was an English king. But even if you look at the story of Moses, the connection that they had with deities, you know, is, Saul, the
With
story
the
of Lot.
spirits kind of right, or like.
Yeah, yeah. Why? These deities ain't disappeared. Probably they going to with all this negativity, but
I
you know,
think that's the NHI really, that they kind of, that's the new word for that. Either the souls or some entity which is in another dimension, but they're able to communicate us or send us messages. You know why I tell you this, Hidden? Because this thing about Fatima started happening in August, and in January there was a big cult in Lisbon
mm,
that they were kind of mediums.
mm,
They they tried contacting these other realm star entities.
mm.
Look, I'm not sure if that's what they're trying to pass as the psionics thing. They kind of, I think that's what this guy that has been with Carl, Carl, one of the psionics guys with the long hair. He's
Nope,
been with Carl the Crusher.
nope.
Carl Crusher, he's like a big channel of he lives in Arizona.
Uh,
So basically, Hidden, I've seen so many stuff
sorry,
that
right?
you start
Sorry.
making connections. And this guy is one of the Jake Barber team.
I
I don't
just,
know his
I,
name.
I
Does
just like to
anyone
tell you.
know him?
I just like to tell you though, John. You know, there are many. There are people out there that are sent to send you down there.
Yeah, I know. And then they get people from the government to maybe send a flare or two
I think I'll tell. Yes, indeed,
for
indeed,
the video evidence and stuff. But
indeed. Well, what do you do? You got to sell something in it. But all right, see these things. I personally see them as, oh God, I lost my train of thought, man.
yeah, yeah, I was trying to finish as well that thing about the mediums.
Yeah.
So these guys, they rented a newspaper, the Medium Cult, and they said that on X date there was going to be a big happening on this place.
And did it?
And in August, people started seeing this lady in the sky, mostly kids who were playing and working because there was a lot of kids working.
Mm,
Nobody really cared much.
mm,
At, but after August, September, um, some kids started gathering up there. You know, these three kids started gathering and talking with these entities. And apparently, they got their parents involved, and maybe the one of my theories is that these mediums that predicted what was going to happen in Fatima, you know, the big miracle sighting,
mm,
it was like a build up. Like in August, the kids started talking, they saw it and started talking to their parents. And in September, the kids already saw them like every week, and they were saying, the entities were talking to them. So they were saying, oh, there's something's going to happen. We're going to make something on this date so that everybody believes you, kind of, you know. And then the kids would say to their parents, and then a few people would gather, and then something would happen, you know, like some UFO sighting or something, like something would happen. The lady would come, but only those kids and some other kids would see them. And then after September came October, and then in October they asked for like something to these kids, the three kids. They asked them, please try to gather the most people you can. We want to give some evidence of what of of my presence, you know, our existence. And you know what happened? The governor locked these kids in a house
mm.
for like a week. And in one of those days was the date that the entity said that they were going to do a big show, you know, of whatever.
What?
And what happened was these kids were locked up, and lots happened that night, like a big storm and big lights. And, you know, of course, it could be just a storm, but it was like did a big show
The
to
anger,
tell that they were angry, yeah.
the anger of the
And
God.
so the governor released them. And so the big miracle happened like October, November or October. I'm not sure. I cannot remember now the date because every month something was happening and
Mm.
more people were gathering. But like the church and the politicians, they were covering everything. Like they were trying to say, no, nothing is happening and everything is okay. And so there was a lot of these social things happening. The church saying that it was the devil, and then the Vatican
As they
had to
would.
send someone here, and then it proved that it was true, but it had to be related to religion, you know.
Mm,
So basically, what this lady is investigating is that she's starting to discover that this lady has the Fatima has the same name of a daughter of a Muslim Moor king that ruled this land, you know, many time ago. And these sightings, they're called the Mary Ann sightings. They've happened in Spain with, you know, that big happening in Spain where the girl, she's receiving the we call it ostia. It's the bread of God,
mm,
and the bread just appears in her in her tongue. And there were several miracles that happened in Spain. And look, man, This place in Spain is near the Basque country. The Basque country is very known for UFOs and reptilians as well. I don't know if you know. That's why the Basques, they don't really mix with the Spanish. They're kind of independent
Mm,
because of the Pyrenees. The Pyrenees, there's a lot of UFOs and humanoid abductions and sightings and experiences in the Pyrenees. So, Hidden, here in Portugal. I know of a mother of a friend of mine that she was in Mozambique in '70s with her husband, and they were just dating, and they were kind of dating in the beach. It was like '76, and she saw like a huge orange mothership. She tells me it's a mothership. That's what she calls me. She's had lots of UFOs sightings and
mm.
some ghosts, but that one there, she and her husband was on my side, and I did an interview as well for my channel, and they're telling me in Portuguese like we were kind of dating, and like in Mozambique at 5 o'clock it becomes night like that, like because it's equator, and it came from one side of the horizon, an orange big craft stopped in front of them in the horizon quite far away,
Whoa,
stayed a few minutes, and then came back from where
whoa,
like she said it was maybe like half of the sun when it's setting, like, so it's
whoa.
quite big, things like that. So I do have people with credentials, people, friends,
Yeah.
who tell me these crazy sightings. I have a friend of mine from 2012 that he saw a fleet. Some of them had lights in a foggy night, and look, his wife was next to him. He told him, "Look," and she said, "I don't see anything." So
Mm,
he said that it was foggy, and he saw a circle unfogging, you could see the skies. So the fog disappeared in a little bit, a circle. And in that middle of the circle, a fleet of UFOs passed. He said he saw saucers. He saw saucers with light, saucers without light, the metallic saucers. He saw bigger ones. He saw orbs, like all passing like slowly, like a grid. He said they would look like a grid passing in front of you, on the middle of the fog. But he said that it opened for him, but not for his girlfriend who was like on his side.
there you go. There you go.
So that tells me a little bit that
Maybe not.
some people are more predisposed
Yeah,
for
but
this other dimension, you know what I mean,
mm, I don't
than
know.
others.
I don't know, man. I don't know because
Because if
I'm
someone
thinking of,
is right
I'm
next to
thinking of,
you and they
yeah,
don't see anything, and you are watching that,
then-
either you're crazy
or it didn't
or
happen.
they're crazy.
Well, a chair is a chair.
Yeah, it's
So
crazy, right?
no, if a chair, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Logic would dictate. I
How
mean,
can someone right next to you see like that case of my friend? Both of them saw him and his girlfriend at the
yeah.
time, but this other, his wife was there with him, and they didn't
I
see any. She
I
didn't
don't
see
know.
anything.
I don't know because you have mediums in it that can see into the and
Yep,
not. So who knows? Who knows?
yep.
Who knows? I just say, with a story like that, if you don't have a picture or you don't have a video, we have to say it didn't happen because your eyewitness that was sitting next to you said, "You know what? I saw nothing."
To do with you anymore.
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If I was you, don't come out the woodworks with that one. No, I'm sorry. I don't. I don't. It's a weird one. It's just. It is a weird tale. That you know. I'm sorry.
Beautiful, man. Look, man, we I think I'm pretty satisfied for today, brother. I tell you, we didn't have to do as much time, but
I got stunned.
you know, yeah, but not that you have a lot of experience, and you are like me. You know, we always want to find the truth and help others we while we do that. You know, find the truth and help others and have a laugh. Right?
Underbelly deep in white,
Oh,
chasing saucers in the starry skies.
Is it too loud?
it's all
You're
right. It's
covered
all right.
where the shadows lie.
Okay, so hidden brother,
Brother,
again, thank you very much for stopping by.
Uh,
It was really good
oh hidden,
meeting you
your light
for
is
the
never
first time.
forbidden. Oh hidden, oh hidden, the
And
truth you've always
I don't
hidden.
wanna. I'm not gonna be asking you for your time to do stuff and but I would love to maybe in the future have you back, maybe after you write your book. If you want to get it,
but
it's,
why don't you pop on one time on our show?
yeah,
I know we
I'd love to,
I know
just
we're gonna be doing the
talk.
Halloween one. So pop up on that one. Token Ghost
Look, it
Story.
will be my pleasure, hidden, my brother, you know that. I'm not very very busy, but I do have a big family sometimes. But
I
you
get that
know,
right.
look, if I don't pop in, someone else from your incredible chat will,
Well,
and I'll probably get in some time for sure,
well,
brother.
well, for the Halloween show, I'm trying to arrange it. Hold on.
Yeah, I
I,
do like that, a show with your followers,
well,
your friends, basically, right?
I'm having a guy that I made friends with. He's made a documentary on the ghost of I always say it wrong.
Canterbury,
No, 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 no.
Canberra.
I'll get it right. But we're trying to do the show, and I hope he pops on. He's got his
Awesome.
he's got his documentary. It's I think it's in the London film thing. So he's got his
Awesome.
documentary
Awesome.
out there. But basically he went in there believing, and unfortunately he came out
Not
showing you that
believing?
this guy is a fraud, and he felt that pissed off that he made a documentary about it.
Those usually are the best because it's your own experience and inspiration.
Yeah. Well, you should come up, man, because look, he's an ordinary guy. He enjoys smoking weed
Awesome.
and
Look,
just
man,
so
if I don't go on one day or I'll go on the other, remember that, hidden. It's my pleasure to join you guys sometime. I just don't want to make it. I just don't want to. How can I say it? Take too much of your time, really.
that's all right. I'm stoned, man. Time is free. It's money that costs.
Yeah, it's the labor that costs, right?
uh,
The sweat and the sweat and tears.
it's the fun, man. Because I always say that's why you guys in the chat. Thank you for turning up, and You
Yes.
know,
Yes. Thank you
it's
very
you
much for
it's you guys
your friend.
it's you guys as well that helps us channels. You know, no matter how big get, I could never get that big without you guys.
Yep. It's a cumulative work, right? So it takes time and work.
Yeah.
And I've been before I haven't been doing lots of interviews before Nick, and I feel really happy that Nick gave me
They're fun, ain't they?
that suggestion, you know, because I do have interviews aligned, but when it's a channel that we tick that tick box every Friday and Thursday with you, or Wednesday, and you know you know look, my channel is UFOs, and when we learned what I've learned was part from you guys. It's learning. It's like study. It's like doing history for you, you know, right now,
Oh, that's insane, man. Well, thank you.
because Nick is very
I am
good in
honored.
history. You are very good, and as you will recognize, you will learn as you're learning. History tends to repeat itself. That's a big lesson that I've learned with history,
I'm
and
hoping
so
so.
I'm glad that you're studying, and you 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 know when you start talking about that history that you've learned, you will start captivating even more people, and then joining the technology, the UFO, you know, the ghosts as well. Of course, I do like that, but I'm not, like I told you, you are more into that. I do like that, but I'm I'm a little bit afraid of it, you know, in a way, because I'm very sensitive, and so
I think
It's like the witchcraft. It does exist, but I like the witches. They exist. No,
but
sorry, they
it's
don't
all
exist, but keep them there. You know.
it's all that you see with the ghosts. I think they're operating on another dimension. I don't know if see this is again going back to
And
spectrum
leftover energies.
that as well because some of these hauntings because I some of these hauntings can be explained away as leftover energies. I need the main culprit is quartzes, crystals.
Yes,
You understand what I'm saying?
I've heard about the properties of crystals. Yes.
So you know, so one of the properties is that they can record energy, and if an energy so charged, like violent energy, terror, fear, that's going to record it. So sometimes these energies are just residual. It's just the house playing out.
Like in a house or in an object.
Mm, the object again would have to have a crystal, some sort of crystal. But
Ah, okay. Yep. I know what you mean.
see some of the older houses in England they have some crystals in the plastering.
Mm.
They're not like massive crystals, but they're not little, but they're there. Now now you get what I'm saying. There's quite a bit on one wall, but it's dispersed, but it's still there. Uh, it's a residual.
Plastering. That's crazy.
It's residual energy. They also do it. This is why they use the EMF detectors. It's insane because the EMF gives off a frequency.
Yeah.
You get what I mean. So the first thing is they do a base. This is what they don't normally show you, but you run it around the powers and all that because if obviously by the main power source, yeah, where all your fuses and amps are, there's going to be a high EMF reading.
Okay.
So this is how, through this kind of science, we learn that the EMF frequencies mess with people's brains, and they can make them hallucinate to see these dark figures. So is that because they
Um,
use these electromagnetic people that have been working, say, like on shop floors? They used to say that they've seen these dark figures, and when they went to do EMF readings, guess what? They're standing right in the vicinity of these power fuse boxes. So it's these EMFs that are messing with their brains. Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah, I never wanted to get one for me. Mm-mm.
See, but the thing is that these interdimensionals, I think it's not elite that there's also this spirit things that we see. Can't they be interdimensional beings? They've just always been around. They have the ability to show us, and for sure, some get caught by by accident, and then some are faked.
What else theories? You're making the best logical theories, brother.
On that note, because yeah, it's getting late.
Okay, brother. Thank you very much again.
Oh, you got to send me over that song, man.
I'm gonna send you both the songs, okay?
All right, man.
Good night, my brother. I'm gonna put your
Good night.
music.
Do you want me to go now, or do you want to say good night to me after you end the show?
Okay, so let's say goodbye to everyone, and
Goodbye.
I'll say goodbye to you after. Okay, so I'm just gonna play the music, and then I'll finish it up, and I'll say goodbye to you. Okay, you can take the video if you want.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very much again, my brother. Thank you very much, everybody. Beautiful chat. That you bring to life. Mysteries unfolding your endless fight. Oh, hidden, oh, hidden. Your light is never forgotten. Connect with my brother. The truth you've always given. Drop him a comment and a like. And click the bell. Saucer trails and cosmic tales. Through the static you prevail. Hidden brother on the case. Bringing truth to every space. Oh, hidden, oh, hidden. Your light is never forgotten. Love you, brother. The truth you've always given. Good night, my people.